Okay, so there we are.
Hey,
Okay, but where did my chat go? Hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay, so is my husband the only? Hello,
Hey, leave me alone.
test, Debbie, Deb, Adam,
hey, hello everyone.
Steve,
Hello.
Hello? Which one?
Deb. It's try one more time. Look at that face. She, she, I don't know why. Remember, it just started. Hey, everyone. Thanks for coming. Um, Remember, it just started like a while back
Yeah.
where she just seemed to have issues with someone coming in or,
Well,
you know,
my screen my whole thing froze when the intro was going, so I left the studio and came back in, and I
yeah.
wonder if it kicked her audio off for some reason again.
Oh, maybe. Could, could you see? Like, I mean, I know it's annoying to her. I don't know why it does it, because it only happens to her.
Right.
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
I think
Um,
I think it's probably a Bluetooth thing with her microphone or something, but I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Poor thing. So anyway, okay. So in chat we have my husband Steve Austin. We have Steve from True Crime Web, and we had Deb, and she'll be back in a minute. And of course Adam and me, Sunny. So how's everyone doing tonight? There's Deb. Okay, let's see. Of course Adam and me, Sunny. So
Okay.
how's everyone doing?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Oh, there's a screeching.
Is that our dryer, honey?
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
the timing was perfect.
Yeah. Okay, well, we can hear everybody, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's good now? I know.
So
Okay.
weird. So weird how it does
I
that.
I know it's frustrating. Um, so it's,
Oh.
okay.
Callie said he's a hottie, Sonny.
Yeah, and you want him, for a nominal donation, Callie. Honestly, just a nominal about what, a couple million, and I should be satisfied, I think. Yeah.
I would be satisfied with a couple million.
Yeah, right. Well, he is Steve Austin, the $6 million man, but he just didn't come with $6 million. That's the problem. So yeah, so of course, Steve, meet my husband, Steve, and obviously everyone knows Deb and Adam and Sunny. Yeah, and of course, so my husband is doing me the nice favor. I used to bring him on a few times, and it's been a long time. It's his birthday today. He's celebrating his, yes, I am married. His 32nd. You know,
Wow.
yeah. But what I didn't. He hasn't seen my video. The one where I'm psychic and I'm drunk all the time. Apparently, honey, you never seen that video yet, did you? That I,
Talking
yeah.
Huh. Steve, does she keep her crystal ball in the bedroom or is it in the living room?
Which one?
Yeah, exactly. Go on.
Maybe not the one in the bedroom. That was probably a bad question to ask.
And just to dispel any rumors, I only drink on days that end in Y, don't I? Yeah. Or what would be the truth of how often I drink?
Well, it's more of a question when you don't drink.
You know what? You're all shit.
He's got to look down at his script.
Yeah.
Hold on. Which page is this on?
What, honey? Oh, that's funny. You know what? This is when someone like Gross comes in and be like, you know what? I proved it. See, even her
She
husband.
admitted it.
Yeah.
Hey, Deb, there's a question in the chat for you. Let me see if I can get back to it really quick.
Is it for Mike?
Yeah, Mike wanted to know if you were still having anger issues.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's see.
Yeah, I always have anger issues.
Yeah, I know, right? I remember seeing that comment going, hold on. And I literally went and watched the video to see if Deb like lost her shit for a moment or something. And I was like, Nope. But then I realized where that came from.
Right.
I was like, did Deb lose it on somebody? So Bean says, happy birthday, Steve. I was beginning to think you were a make-believe husband.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Right. He's only going to be with us for a little bit tonight, though, because she's got to pay him by the hour.
Yeah. I know, right? Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it, right? How much am I charging you to be my husband today, honey?
$100 every 10 minutes.
Yeah. I have.
Wow, we better get some donations tonight going.
Well, I do have to show that video if you haven't seen it. Do you guys mind if I play it for a quick second?
No.
Sure.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You know what?
Do I have a
Yeah.
choice?
What, honey? No, you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. You just got to watch it. It's cute, okay? Okay. 1 sec. Let's see. Bringing us all back. Wait, where am I? Did you love
Can
it?
you hear me? Can you hear
I can
me?
hear you. I can hear you. I can hear
I'm
you.
just waiting for it.
Honey, do you think that pretty much epitomized who I am as a person?
Apart from a giant wine glass, sure.
You know, okay. At some point, you got to say you're just joking.
No.
The word is allegedly.
It's just, yeah, they can believe what they want.
Yeah, I know. Do I honestly care? No. I don't care. That video makes me laugh every time I see it. So, we ended up celebrating, like I was telling Deb, my niece was in town from Calgary. And so we ended up having dinner last night. And then, like I said, so tomorrow husband goes over to Whistler. Have you guys all heard of Whistler in BC?
I've heard of Whistler. They're skiing there, right?
Yeah,
No.
yeah. It's beautiful. I'll show you. I got to show you guys what it looks like. Well, that picture is just not going to do
Okay,
it.
while you're doing that, I have to read what Peace said. It said
Oh yeah,
my
what did
cat,
he say?
my cat was trying to drink out of the glass every time it appeared on the screen and then hissed at the cats.
Aw. Okay.
Oh
Okay, so I just want to quickly share because it is so good. Oh, Copper.
Woo!
You know what?
my
Copper, you
Thank
know
you,
God.
what, honey?
Copper. Oh, look at that. Your
Honey.
favorite number, Sonny.
Yeah. That's why. Copper knows that. Copper knows that. And Copper knows 69 is my year I was born and that it's a good position and that it's just a great number. Oh,
Okay.
Copper, thank you so much. That's
Here's
for
the
Thank you
question.
so much.
It's
Here's
for
the big question. Steve, Mr. Steve Austin, did you bring gloss?
Oh, we have to gloss. Shit.
Uh,
No, honey, just pretend. Oh, you got gloss? What do you got?
camel.
Camel. That's
Rub it
what his
over your
mom.
lips.
Yeah,
Rub it over your lips.
yeah. Just rub it on your. Yeah, just use the butthole part though, honey. Okay.
I'll do it for both Steves.
Yeah.
Thank
I'll
you.
do it twice.
Steve, you're
Yes.
addicted
Top
now, aren't you?
course. Thank you. Oh
You're
yeah,
addicted,
Steve.
aren't you now?
Oh.
Steve is the other Steve. He was ready. He's
I was gonna
seasoned.
say, how bad am I for not reminding my own husband about gloss?
You're fired.
Camel juice. Camel
Now,
juice.
how are we going to differentiate the two Steves? We need to
No.
come up with a name here.
Steve
I
A.
can go
and-
by my SWAT name,
okay, what's that?
Gandhi.
Gandhi.
Because you're so wise.
No, I was a
Boy,
sniper.
Gandhi.
You were,
Okay, that was
you were a sniper.
Okay. So,
We
what
have a
made you
burning
choose
question in
Gandhi?
the chat really quick, Sonny.
What should it?
Support
What
with
is it?
Steffa would like to know, did your husband open his Amazon package yet? You just
Yes. Say what you got, honey, from your mother.
Oh, just a few little knick-knacky things, really, because it's a bit of a pain to send stuff from England because it's so expensive. But just weird stuff.
Oh,
A camel. Some lights for my computer I have. And then like I don't think you can see it, but like a key ring thing with writing on it. You can't really see it.
what does it say?
To my son, never forget that I love you forever.
Oh,
Aw.
You need to put that on my
Nice.
car keys wherever
We'll
they've
just
got.
pretend I got you that instead. Yeah.
Huh?
We'll just pretend I got you that instead. Just
Sure.
pretend. Yeah.
it'd be creepy that you called him son.
Well, we will eliminate. Well, I don't know. My ex-husband says, "How's your other son doing?" Not so creepy after all, I guess. Yeah,
He's just jealous.
Exactly.
I know. Right. Show us your package. So, what package
Oh.
are you referring to?
Who does? No
Gandhi's
wonder
gonna
he
leave. Gandhi's
stays-
gonna leave.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
once
Gandhi's gonna
again,
be-
we digress.
yeah.
No wonder who just stays in Facebook jail all the time.
Oh, that's funny. So this is, if you can see it, this is Whistler, BC, British Columbia. Yes, I said British Columbia, Boston. But yeah, so this is Whistler here. It's beautiful. It's like it's, you know what I mean? It's that thing that you put at Christmas time out on your shelves that looks like a Christmas village. It's a beautiful place. You know, when people talk about Canada for ski resorts, they'll always hear of Banff and Whistler and Jasper National Park. Yeah, just, you know,
Very
so
pretty.
so my husband's ditching me for the weekend, like for 4 days. I think 4 days, right, honey?
Something like that.
Yeah. So he leaves tomorrow. So it all worked out great. We went to dinner. My niece flew back to Calgary, and you know what? I have to cut his hair tonight. He's like, I told him to go get a haircut. Yeah. And let me go back here. I told him to go get a haircut because I always cut his hair. And so I was just like, you know, like that store that's, you know, like Adam, that store that's right next to us. If Adam was here, I'd be like, over to Adam. But yeah. And so he's like, you're going to cut my hair tonight. Okay. Thank you. You know, and I'm just like, so we're sending back these messages going, no, I'm not. thank you. And he's just like, I'm like, well, don't forget you're coming on the live tonight. He goes, no, I'm good. Thank you. And I'm just like, no. Anyway, so it's just this little funny thing we had today of, no, thank you. But, and then so the deal was, of course, is, yeah, I have to cut his hair tonight. So I can only be on the live for so long because I got to take care of his hair. Thank God for, Henny, it's a new one, isn't it? It's a new hair cutter, isn't it? So you know what? That even makes it more. Adam, do me a favor, okay? Because this drives me crazy. My husband has hair that more goes forward. Yeah, here.
Yeah, it's growth pattern.
Yeah, and so it's, unless it's just the other one was a shitty shaver thing. I always struggle with which way I'm supposed to follow the pattern. So if
do
it's
going, do you just buzz it or?
Yeah, buzz it, and I usually use a number.
I don't overly care the style. I wear a hat 99% of my life. I just want the mullet gone, really.
Right.
I honestly don't care.
Yeah, like I usually do a number 3 and 4 typically on them, and but I always get pissed because it's like, because usually it's really long, and then it's like, and I'm just sitting there with scissors going at first.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, I can always tell you off like camera too, but I mean, it helps if you like kind of go in different directions. And you know, sometimes if you go opposite the way it's growing, if it grows forward, kind of if you go backwards, it'll cut it shorter. But you always want to like cross check, you know, so that way it kind of gets all the, especially if it's thick.
Yeah, husband has thick hair. Yeah,
but the new clipper should help.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say.
And the best thing you can do is like you can probably buy them for like $10 US, like, you know, a cheap pair of like thinning shears, and you just kind of take those with a comb and you just like up the side a little bit. It kind of helps. And
I know I pretend sometimes even with these little cheap scissors. I pretend like I'm a hair.
The thinning shears are like the perforated ones that look like craft scissors, kind of with the little edges.
Oh yeah, that's what I'll do. Remember those craft scissor ones? Yeah. He'll sit there and he'll be like, only once. Was it only once, honey, that I cut your hair? And I was like, oops, bald spot there.
Right.
Kind of, you know.
Okay,
and then he was,
I gotta tell you a story.
Okay.
One time, my husband uses one of those, buzzes his hair off, you know. And one time he said, "Just can you get the back of my neck?" And I didn't know he took the guard off of it. And I went,
oh.
He had a strip all the way up the back, and I was like, he goes, "What did you do?" But he didn't yell. He just laughed about it. I'm like, you can't go around like that.
I was gonna say, that when you take the guard off, that's when I realized, that's just how, you know, like that's kind of what I did. Really, I was, you know, when I get to the back of the hair at the back, when you're trying to, you know, make it all nice and good, and then it was just kind of like, oops, because sometimes I'll take it and I see a little stray hair, and then I'm just like, and then all of a sudden it was just like, you know, and then he was just like, oh, it's all good. I wear my hat. It'll grow back in a couple weeks.
Not everyone has a nice hairstyle like Steve up there, or Gandhi. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Gandhi. Yeah. Anyway, my love. Oh, okay. Does anyone have any questions for my husband before he departs with us tonight?
Good. That good.
No,
that
but I think we should sing to him.
Oh, fair enough.
Bye.
Hold on. No, Deb, if you could just start us off.
Well, I want to know what Steve are you going to do for the rest of the 5 hours that Sunny's going to be on our live?
I'm packing up, ready for Whistler.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Deb. Start us off. Okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday, dear Steve Austin.
Dave, my love.
$1 man. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, so yeah, I don't want to hit those notes because I just don't really hit those notes. So, you know, it's like if I want to lose viewers right now, well, that's going to happen. they hear those notes. They're going to be like,
Was it on a delay? Because I heard you guys repeating. Like I would sing and you'd repeat the line.
we were
Okay,
just,
Beyonce. Okay,
you know what?
Beyonce.
Bravo,
Calm down.
bravo, Debbie. Show him.
Yeah, I was about to break into tenor.
I'm saving my singing voice for the voice.
10 or 12 miles away.
Tell ya, right? What does this mean? He's not silent. Sonny, show him the video from Journey. Journey.
Journey.
From
Like
Journey
Jenny?
as in Jenny?
Was there
Or
a,
like the Don't Stop Believing.
Don't stop. That's as good as it's gonna get. I'm honestly. Happy birthday, Steve. Yeah. And how old are you, honey? And his brother's birthday was 10 days ago. So, honey, say that again. How it works in your family?
What, the 10 years apart thing?
Yeah.
But
my kids.
my younger brother is, I don't know how it works. So I'm 10 years older than my brother. My auntie is 10 years older than me. And then my mom is 10 years older than my auntie. So we all turn our twos this year.
That's
Yeah.
how it is in my family. My kids are 10 years apart and they turn 30. They both turn 33 and 23 in August. 10 years apart.
Yeah. I'm not I'm just gonna go into the live for a second and see which one she's referring to here, but I'm not gonna play it if it's a song, because I'm just gonna get a copyright strike. Yeah. So
Did
if
she post it?
Jenny will just have to come on herself and sing it.
Oh, is it the one that she does the
Oh, where she did the
karaoke?
dance? Where she was
yeah.
dancing in her living room?
Oh,
Yeah.
let's see here. Let's see.
But
Hold
they
on.
still, I think it still plays the actual song, so we probably get copyrighted.
Yeah.
It says, oops, something went wrong. So was it taken down or something? I clicked on the link and it said, oops, something went wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
My messenger wasn't working tonight. I had to actually come in through StreamYard through the website.
Oh, yes, honey. Oh, sorry, Adam. Sorry.
Oh, you're
I saw this message from Jenny going, Jenny says, Steve, how are you handling being married to the one who discovered the identity of the BG? How are you handling this? Yeah. Are you staying modest, honey? Are you staying modest still?
A little bit.
Yeah.
We're going up there now.
My husband will always be like, yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, that would be odd if it wasn't. Yeah. Okay, honey, go back to
Can I ask Steve one more question before he goes?
Yeah.
So on a scale of like 1 to 10, how much time does Sonny talking about Delphi?
Or just
8.
talk.
An 8? Yeah,
Pretty
Deb
much.
asked the more important question. How many times has she been talking?
Did you say an 8, honey?
11.
You talking about what was that? I'm confused. Did he say an 8th?
Yeah. An
Yeah.
8.
Are you sure? Because is that what you said, honey? An 8th?
He
8.
said 8.
Yeah, that's what I thought. 8. Yeah, 8 hours.
On a scale of 1 to 10, you're an 8
Oh,
for talking.
8. Oh,
Are you even listening?
no.
No. Aren't you
He
used to
doesn't
that?
listen.
Yes.
See, I thought you said an 8th, and I'm like, where the heck is an 8th coming from? I talk about Delphi all the
You
time.
Do you know how many times Steve will be having a conversation and then we'll be like, Sonny? And then
Yep.
she goes, no idea what you were saying.
Yeah.
Steve knows well. Yes, okay.
This is good. I think we should keep Steve on. This
Right.
is
Right. So I won't turn it into a Sonny roast.
I know, right? I'm good. I can handle it.
Oh.
Steve, have you seen BG? Yeah, okay, honey. Just since you're here, have you seen BG's moles that I've showed you?
Be quiet, Journey.
Truth Apple. Go ahead, honey. Have you seen him? I'm just only because she's actually truly
Bits and
answering.
pieces here, there, and everywhere. I don't really pay attention to it, but when you're comparing pictures and showing me pictures, to me, sure.
Thanks, honey. All right then, Jenny. He's got to go. The
Happy
answers
birthday,
that I
Steve.
get. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Bye,
Thank
Happy
husband.
birthday.
Love you, honey. So
Love you.
yeah, and you know, I mean, only because some people think that I'm some lonely old, cat loving crazy lady or something like that. So, how many years will we be married again?
Between 1 and 10.
Okay, 7.
I think it's 7. The answer
7.
is 7, I think.
He knows. He knows the answer. July
Right.
11th. Yeah. That's why it's kind of like Steve's brother's birthday was on the 12th. Steve's birthday is on the 22nd. My birthday's on the 3rd. Our anniversary's on the 11th. So it just kind of goes bam, bam. And then my twin, obviously, I'm a twin. So
Yeah.
July 3rd, too. So that's when I'm saying you're going to come on the live. And Haley yesterday was like, my mom says she's ain't going on.
And then you forgot the most important date, Sonny.
Oh, my God. And then, okay, so right after that is Adam, who is July 13th. And then whatever other babies are out there watching this live right now. And Haley's, my niece just left. Hers is July 15th. So as we were sitting eating dinner, all I could think about was Deb. Deb, guess what? There's 3 cancers sitting right here. Cancer. And guess what? You know what was funny? Was that she took the personality test and she had one letter off of mine. So I'm an ENFP. She was an ENSP, I think she was. And no. She was not intuitive. She was
Sensing.
Yes, sensing. So
Or thinking.
Entertainer, wasn't it? The personality trait.
No, the thinking is for the third one over.
Yeah, so it's sensing.
Yeah. So it was just kind of one of those things. I'm just like, yeah, just happens to be 3 cancers sitting here eating dinner all together. Sunny, wake up. Okay. All right, Jenny. Steve, does Sunny wake up to you to see a new mole or marking? Do I find those moles on you?
Obviously, you wake me up to do it, but if you spot new things, you show me them. I wouldn't say you shake me and wake me up.
Wake you up to see a new more. Oh, no. Yeah. You know what? I'm over that now. Before I used to. Now now it's like, Deb, see Deb, that picture you take. Yeah. Anyways, honey, we'll let you go. Copper Horse, thank you so much. I appreciate the $59.
Enjoy the rest of your birthday, Steve.
Yeah, it has so much meaning.
Have fun in Whistler.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
working 12, 13, 14-hour days ain't fun.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to work in Whistler?
Hey?
You're working in Whistler, or you're just going for a weekend?
No, I'm working there.
No, he's
I'm
working.
a hotel there.
Yeah. They're doing doors there on a hotel by
Mill work around the area. A couple of suites.
Construction. All right. Okay, my love. We're gonna get back on with the show. Love you.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you.
Peace out.
Good night.
Thanks, honey. You see, yeah. Okay. So, anyways, he hadn't been on in a long time, and I thought to myself, you know what? It's his birthday. I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna make him.
Right.
So I always appreciate my husband when he does that because I know he doesn't overly want to, but it's just because he's an introvert. Is he on
camera when he games?
You know what? Mostly not. Sometimes, but mostly not.
I don't game. I don't know how that works.
Oh my God! You know what's so stupid is that I actually meant to tell him to say his channel that him and his brother do. They play Apex Legends, and they put out videos, and I can't remember his name now because he changed it. It was Burnt Butcher, and then he changed it to whatever the heck his name was there, to be honest.
Oh, Sonny, I'm gonna put the banner up at the bottom because we don't have it up.
Oh, see, honestly,
there's just a few more days till Kelsey's wedding.
Yeah, we fully admitted that yes, right. If anyone wants to get that in there now that I think about it, though, just know that there will have to be, in a sense, 2 donation times because anything that was done in June, you don't see till July. Okay. And at the end of the day, that's better. So whatever was done last month, and not to say that there was a lot, so don't, because there really wasn't, but there was more this month. So just know that, people. Okay. Yeah. And so Kelsey, so guess what? Abigail's birthday is tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
It would have
19.
Should have been 19.
Yeah. And of course, Kelsey gets married on the 25th here. So they're, I'm sure, busy.
A big
Um,
week.
yeah. So,
And they've got Paul Holes in town.
Yeah.
yeah, right. Did we ever hear anything about why he's like,
Yeah.
Becky told me that
Adam
he's
talked to
there
Becky.
for he's there with HLN.
yeah.
She didn't
Okay.
go
You
into
wanna
detail
say
about what they're doing.
Say it again, Adam.
What?
That you talked to Becky.
Oh my god. Well, I just asked her
Okay.
because I was like, well, if
Okay.
anyone's gonna know, she should know.
Yeah.
She was a good one.
Yeah. Actually, before we get going again, too, I want to probably show this. So, guess who liked my tweet, Adam? Even though
I'm so excited. Well, I'm so excited for it. I feel like I feel famous by proxy.
Are you talking about Adventures with Purpose? Or are you talking about Nancy?
No, I'm talking about Nancy Grace. Sorry.
Oh, I know. Yeah. So I put out the tweet there for Braden, and Nancy Grace retweeted my tweet. Thank you, Nancy Grace.
Technically, it says it's a criming shames tweet. So
yeah. I just thought that was pretty cool because I go to my Twitter and I'm like, Nancy Grace retweeted my tweet, even though I put her in there as a tag. Yeah, because you know what, was. Can I say something? Do you guys know? You guys have heard of the Suzanne Morphew case, and Steve, have you? We can call you Steve now, okay? Unless you want to be called Gandhi.
No, Steve.
Okay, so you've heard of the Suzanne Morphew case, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what actually made me feel good in a lot of ways. So Tyson Draper got this video of Barry Morphew right at the start. It was just one of those raw moments, got a video, and then so it was a really great thing. And of course, the little preachers of the world out there were trying to be trolls and knock him down for it, saying that blah, 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 blah. No, that's one of those beautiful moments that he captured because that's what caught Barry Morphew in a lot of lies. Unfortunately, right, he's not in jail anymore. The case is so far. What do you want to call it when it's not? It's been dropped for the moment until they find a body. But so, anyways, oh my God, Tyson Draper was, was a teacher, and he might still be actually. So he was gonna, not go take his contract because, he was getting a nice little following on YouTube and, Well, I'll tell you, in a heartbeat, people for some reason were starting to bash him, and him and his brother kind of had some sort of little argument, and they kind of like split went back to their channels in a sense, created their own. Anyways, a lot of people started trying to like really bash Tyson Draper, and it was like Tyson Draper, again, anyone in certain employment, nurses, teachers, they all fall into that same category of being very deep carers of people. Now, so Tyson Draper is driving, doing a lot of things on his own time with his own money, a type of idea. And then people want to bash him, like we know the trolls out there live. And so anyways, it was so great for me to watch Tyson Draper, basically for all those trolls that wanted to try to beat him down, him and Nancy, they started asking Tyson because of that video, to come on the show. And him and Nancy Grace have actually become very close because I see them now a few times where Nancy Grace is with him and they're together. And so anyways, it just goes to show you what I always believe in, what's called karma. What you put out and what you get back in a sense. So Tyson Draper was doing a lot of great things and people always try to diss a lot of the people that are really in it for the right reasons. And then so to watch the karma come back, and for all those people that were trying to knock him, he surpassed them in a sense. And now he was getting, I don't want to say the credit that he was deserved, but in a sense, yes, because like I said, it was a great thing that he got. I mean, that in itself helped the LE so much by having that, because you could see his lies in it and stuff like that. So anyway, so yeah, so I was just kind of whatever, that Nancy Grace. And also I've reached out to Jared. Well, Jared won't be able, I don't believe, come on from AWP. That's Adventures with Purpose. So I'm just talking with Doug Bishop right now from AWP. He would love to come on, do a
Adventures
live.
with Purpose.
Yeah. So if anyone doesn't know who Adventures with Purpose is, and again, I'm just talking with Doug back and forth because obviously set up a time. Adventures. Have you heard of Adventures with Purpose, Steve? Adventures with Purpose. Okay, great. Okay, just a great bunch of people. When I first heard about them, it was during the Suzanne Morphew case, and I had reached out to them myself, not knowing, and I said, "Hey, there's this case in Colorado, da 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 da," and Jared would, and this Adventures with Purpose at the time had probably about 800, 700 and something K followers, I believe, and so anyway, Jared would answer back his emails and say, thank you for contacting me. Da, 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 da. And what I liked about AWP with Jared and whoever else was, say, maybe answering back on Twitter and different things, was that they always took the time to come and acknowledge or email you back or come to your video. Because I did a tribute video for them on a push to 1 mil subscribers. Anytime I deem somebody that has a great heart, it makes me want to do a tribute video for them, because I'm just loving the fact of just how much purity AWP has as persons. Their hearts are in the right place. They're in the right everything. They deserve all the success that they have. They just, just great, great people. So I've always admired it. I've always admired the fact that out of most channels, this is where I kind of learned that what I thought true crime community was about caring and bonding together, was when I realized that here's a channel that had over 700 and something K subscribers, and yet those little bitty channels, or the ones that thought that they were at 50K, wouldn't answer you back. And here, someone that has close to 700 and something was taking the time to answer you back, and I just respected that so much, because I find it hard to, when people just, you email them. Like if I miss an email, it's legitimately because I don't see the email, or it might have slipped my mind. I don't intentionally never answer somebody back. It's not.
Yeah, I just today saw an email from last week that you and I both, it was to both of you and I, Sonny, and I missed it. Oh. So I need to respond to that.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, Adventures with Purpose, they started off as cleaning, trash out of the rivers and the different things. Right. And the next thing, like they were coming across guns and, just a bunch of, plethora of different things. And then they discovered a body. They discovered a car, and they discovered, a body inside the car. And then their whole mission changed in a sense. And it became basically helping families who, in a sense that they know, like they're a water scuba diver team, right? I always remember what that means. Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. Yes. Okay. But anyways, so then it became their purpose to help families that their loved ones that they think that they've perhaps gone, into the water in a car. And so, you know what? And I just believe I heard them say that they've solved 23 now since 2 years ago, I believe. 23. So tell me that that's not an amazing group of people that literally, right? Anyways, Jared and the AWP team, and there's Chaos Divers, and there was Sam. And
is Jared the one who was in our chat, who came on the other night?
No, that was Jacob from Chaos Diver. Chaos. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, Jared's the main person that you'll see talking. Anyways, all I can say is anyone that knows them, they know just a great bunch of people doing, in a sense, God's work.
I'm excited. I'm excited for them to come on.
Oh yeah. Like, I don't think that Jared will be coming on, because I know that my email basically said that Jared, like, meaning because they've grown so much, they have 2.24 million subscribers now. So it's kind of like they probably have their dedication to person that does more of that part now and this part. So either way, you know what? Regardless, doesn't matter because I just love the whole team as a whole, and the whole reason I would like them to, or even if it's just Doug coming on, or maybe Doug and Jacob, or who knows. Either way, it's just a fact. I just want them to share exactly with what they do, how, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
How far, just different questions for them. Just, beautiful group of people. Yes, adventure with purpose. Exactly. I know a true heart when I see one. Simple as that. Jared and his team, pure, like the purest souls, to the bone. And they honestly, I well up when I think about them, to be honest with you, because they're just amazing people.
Well, and even with all those followers that they have, I was unfamiliar with them until, you brought them up to me. And so, I mean, even a little channel like, with 3,000, subscribers, like we are, there are people that aren't familiar with them. So, even just them coming on a program like this, they can get the word out about cases that they're working on that people might not be familiar with.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. I'm just going to drop their link. If anyone has not heard of Adventures with Purpose, and then there's Jacob from Chaos Divers as well. But if anyone has not heard of them, please do yourself a favor. Amazing, amazing group of people. And again, some of these people, they found someone in 6 days to 23 years, and it's just so heartwarming when you see that they're helping families, right? Like these families that are suffering, just like, like there's one thing, okay, when you have, it's horrific already, like say Delphi Murders here, and then you have it where like Suzanne Morphew and these people that are searching for their family members, where you literally don't know what happened to them in a sense. They just never came home. They disappeared. You don't imagine. I couldn't.
Right.
So,
speaking of, can I
yeah.
While you have that up, can I ask Steve, have you heard anything more from Chris since we talked to you on Monday?
Yes. I've been sharing, or I've shared all the emails with Sonny that me and Shirley, which I believe is the grandmother, have been communicating. And she sent me the number to the detective, and I spoke with him this morning. Very nice fellow. I called him at just before 9, and at 10 o'clock he called me back, and we had a nice discussion about Braden, and that Braden's on the computer system across the country. So if any law enforcement agency has contact with him, they'll notify. And
excellent.
Nice.
And we spoke a little bit about the case, and he says that the case is open, and they continue to follow any lead that comes in continuously. So they're doing as much. I'm sure it's not as much as what the family wants done, but it's as much as what within law enforcement that you normally do with a case.
Okay. And Chris is doing okay though?
I haven't talked to Chris. I've only talked to the Shirley. Evidently, he had passed the baton to her to contact me, and I think we've only had communications, maybe 4 or 5 emails over the days. But anyway, I sent them that information this morning, and she sent one back thanking me, and I told her that when you do locate Braden, most certainly let me know. And when she lets me know, I'll let y'all know.
Right. Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate the update and appreciate your help with that. Well, your work with that.
Yeah. And again, if, I feel their pain. So Chris works the 3rd shift. So basically he comes home in the morning, he's out for a couple hours, and then he's back to sleep again till his shift. So Shirley is the one that's easy to kind of access in a sense. So Chris has sent me a couple small messages, but again, I understand that he's a working father. He has 2 daughters as well on top of this. And if you guys could just, like I've been doing on Twitter, just keep reposting, I can feel their heartache. I can feel like when Shirley's talking to, it's just because, like I told you about the true crime world, you don't really realize the in-depth of the people that are truly around you. Like,
Right.
I'm shocked by just really how huge child porn is. I'm shocked by the amount of murders, or just, like, people in high power. I would have never known the gravity of it all had I not been in true crime. And they're not in true crime. And yet, as a parent, I couldn't imagine not knowing where my son is, and that he's disappeared, and you haven't heard from him in months, and no one's really, giving any information too much. And of course, like I said, his like uh, s- social media is, very limited, because, it's one thing if I have someone that's of age and I can look at them on Intellius, I can find a lot of information, but he's underage. So I'm not going to find that besides through his social media. Or, like I said to Shirley, for instance, hey, if you can see more than I do, because obviously I'm limited, then just click on it, take a screenshot of the friends, and then you just go down the list, sending a message, send a message, send a message,
Right.
send a message to all those people that are putting likes on his pictures and stuff like that. I really hope that he's not in Colorado, but in saying that, I also have a lot of friends from the Suzanne Morphew case that are in Colorado. I have Lauren Scharf, who's in the new, she's from Fox News, and Tyson Draper, again, over in Colorado. Gonzo, he's can go over, I just know that I can reach out to people because of the Suzanne Morphew case,
Right.
when it comes to the Colorado. But I would kind of like a little bit more than maybe believing that well, no, it's not that I need a little bit more, but it's just that Chris said, like, I said, did you believe her? And he's like, not really. But the thing is that it could be very well true.
Right. And we don't know the nature of the relationship with the person that he might have gone to Colorado with, right?
Yeah. At the end of the day, no matter what, it's just about, this is the whole point, right? Spread awareness, help families out. That's the whole point. And so for me, I keep retweeting, the picture here, because I'll keep doing that, and I'll keep searching as I have the time to do so, for anything that can lead me to look for more information, until hopefully maybe sometime soon that somebody will say, hey, yeah, I know where Braden is. And I mean, I just hope and pray. I would not want to be in anyone's shoes like this. It's just horrible feeling, no matter what, so yeah. So thank you very much, guys. Again, please like this video if you could. Again, keep the word out to help Chris and Shirley, to help at least find, to know that Braden is okay. Yeah.
At least to know he's safe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So with that said, is there anything that anybody wanted to answer in the chat, or anything that anybody else wanted to say before we move on to Delphi? Anybody? No?
I had one question, but I know we need to move on to Delphi because we've been on forever already, almost an hour. But has there been an update in the Dylan Rounds case? Does anyone know?
Not that I've seen. Not that I've seen. I was looking at a video the other day, and not that I'd personally seen.
Okay.
I noticed, like, the mom was going on, I think the interview room, or I can't remember. No, Judy Ron, I think it was, the other day. So, I mean, obviously they're still looking for him. Honestly, besides watching a video, which kind of told me that there was no update, besides he's still missing, I haven't had the moment to really just to look at it,
right,
to be honest with you. But I intend to, because that was on my mind, of course, that his case is one of those ones that that it's just one of those ones that he could have only known so many people, or you know what I mean? That it's somebody that he knew that happened. And, I think that his case will be solved very soon, to be honest with you. What do you feel about that one, Steve? Do you feel like that Dylan Rounds one will kind of be solved in the near future? It doesn't seem like it's one of those ones that's going to drag out to me.
Yeah, most certainly when you're looking at populations of the demographics of you're only looking at the outmost of maybe a couple, 300 people as suspects, and you can automatically start eliminating some of the older men, women, children, and looking at the criminal element that he was around. The field narrows rather quickly in isolated areas because within a certain geographics, there's only so many criminals that would do something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Again, a mother's heart torn apart, a family torn apart. And, it's so hard because I'm not that person that can try to sugarcoat things. I feel like it would be a very big blessing if they find him alive. I really hope and pray that that's the outcome. But of course, when that unless the child's tied up somewhere, it's hard when they're like, it's one thing if they're a runaway and they're doing things like this, but if it's out of character of the child and the parent knows it's just out of character that they have not talked to them in a couple weeks. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure LE has their top 10, and it's going to be within that top 10 in such a isolated area.
Yeah. Have you kept up to date with that one at all, Steve?
No, I haven't. I think I watched a couple of videos of the PI, and then I saw a video. Evidently, the family and the PI are on different pages and battling it out.
I posted that in our Facebook.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what I seen, because that was the guy that was on Zav Girl. That's where I seen him, because somebody said to go watch, and that's a link that I had shared with you. Honestly, I feel like the PI was very disrespectful about how he went about talking. He might be a truth teller, but then there's crossing some boundaries there. And I just felt that how he went about it was very tactless to the family. It just, right. I don't know.
Right. And it sounded like there was they'd paid him and.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that. I mean, if you pay someone to do work for you, do you also pay them to wash the laundry in public?
Right.
Yeah, but that's why I posted that statement from the family on our Facebook page, because I was like, I had not heard anything about there being a separation from that PI and the family until then. So I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
But I didn't watch the Zap Girl thing, so I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
No, me and Sonny have exchanged emails discussing his demeanor, and he is not. And I mean, there's a lot of ways to talking to people that's in the mother and the grandparents. They have one focus in the case, and you're diverting attention from where they're focused and trying to create drama. And I just don't understand that.
Right. Then it can turn into the Summer Wells case before you know it.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
That's the case I know absolutely nothing about.
Same, other than there's been drama after drama after drama.
I just think that the way he went about it was very, I didn't feel like it was a very professional way, considering your work is to help people. I just didn't feel like it was a very professional way to go on a channel and then start talking like the way he did. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's kind of like one of those things. It's like that part of me says, well, you're just a straight up shooter. But then again, you're getting paid by this family. You're supposed to be professional, to them. And I think, and it's like you were slamming the mom. And yeah, I just didn't find it I found it very tasteless how he handled it. So whether or not, to me, support with Steffa is that if he finds him, like, honestly, then great. But I just think that he should be a little bit more tactful in how he was about things. It just, that part just didn't sit with me too well too. You know, mm,
And that was on Zap Girl.
yeah, Zap Girl. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's one thing to give your information, and then to sit there and say that the mom was basically clueless and and da 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 da, and it just wasn't a very nice way to go about it. Meaning he could have gone on there, but why? Like, it's just he didn't have to. There's some comments there that he just, like I said,
One of the rules that my father is that you'll have the right to do a lot of things, but is it always the right thing to do?
yeah, right, yeah, right. And that
Which
wasn't
goes back to what Sunny said, what goes around comes around. What you put out there in the world comes back to you.
right. So when I seen that,
you're doing things for the right intention, and when you're doing things,
Mhm.
with purpose, it'll come back to you.
Yeah. And so, I mean, like I said, I seen that post and I was like, oh, that was so unexpected, not, but it just, let me put it this way. It didn't make him look good to the public for people that would want to hire him. That's how I felt.
never heard of him until this week. I
Same.
didn't know he even existed.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But then I don't know a lot of people exist, so that's.
Yeah. Anyways, you know what? Before we even get into Delphi quickly, do me a favor. So on your live today, Steve, what did you talk about? And how did it go? And like I said,
This was the second part of talking about Klein and what a monster that the child molesters and people who exploit children are, and the relationship that Klein had in the on his devices and his of what he was searching for, and the connection of the possibility of what part he played in the death of Libby and Abby, and was it possible that, because in law enforcement we looked at victimology, and victimology is simply that you look at the victims and see what types of behaviors may have placed them in harm's way, and that harm's way is being placed in front of a predator. And so most certainly everybody knows that Libby and Abby, and Libby especially, was contacting Anthony Schott's account. And through that Anthony Schott's account, that she most certainly placed herself in front of predators that are child molester. And within that group of molesters, is there potential that someone is of a psychopathic and have the motivation or motive? So anytime you have some type of victimology that crosses with someone that may have motive or motivation, that is a big red flag for law enforcement. We're going to focus on it. And regardless of who is eventually determined to be Bridge Guy and the killers of them, law enforcement will maintain a parallel investigation to the end of days with the Klein connection, because you just cannot walk away from any, until someone's identified. And law enforcement has not given any indication that you should turn your back totally upon the Klein connection.
right.
And so they're going to have parallel investigations, and they're not going to walk away from, they may be looking at drug angles. They may be looking at a random killing. They may be looking at different types of revenge, but they'll always also be looking at, from the victimology standpoint, who did Libby and Abby possibly cross paths with in their previous days. And you can't turn your back on the obvious Anthony Schotts and the implications thereof. But that's what we talked about for about an hour.
Sunny, you're muted.
I just actually literally muted myself just so I don't like to go ask that actually. I haven't looked at, how many subscribers yet. Just curious.
I think we were right at 750. I think somewhere around 750 now.
Okay.
And once again, like I said, don't know how that is with law enforcement. comparing apples to apples is what is the growth rate? And I most certainly am a nobody when you get to the other law enforcement people, that's been out there for a while. And
Yeah. Let's see. Peace, can
A
you
lot of
drop?
people, a lot of people think they're somebody until they realize they're not.
Yeah.
So it's better to take your approach.
Carolyn.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm new to this. Y'all are the professionals.
I'm new to that. I mean, you and I, Kathy, I'm pretty new
We're
to
not
this too.
professional.
and
Deb and I said one thing on a week ago, and we started like a Reddit whole thread about something that we said was official that we did not say. So
yeah.
We all make mistakes.
Well, I was gonna say,
Even if they're not mistakes.
I think we all just keep learning. I mean, I know, like I said, I mean, I'm sure it will be years before, as I keep learning and learning and learning the different things, just with
So
you
y'all
too.
going into Delphi tonight? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
You're teasing. You're
No,
being.
I don't. I've been working.
Oh.
As you create stuff, I understand that you don't get to spend a lot of time looking at other. I mean, you're looking at your own, trying to,
right.
From your own angle, and which, I try to create my slideshows. And so that takes, for someone that doesn't understand the Google machine, it takes quite a bit of time.
It's hard.
Yeah. So the part in the email when I said I was talking about the BG and the authority thing.
Didn't even see it.
Oh, well, a couple times. And then you responded, sure, sounds great.
I saw it was Steve's birthday, and that's all I cared about.
That was, and what's funny is that was actually after the fact of me saying that we're going to be talking about Delphi and about the whole, as people think that a lot of people have always thought that an authority figure.
I did see authority figure.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw that, but it didn't register with me what it meant.
And I thought, well, perfect. If Steve wants to come on, because obviously, you were and are an authority figure, regardless. And then, it's been said so many times about the authority figure. And as I keep diving into pictures and stuff, I'm like, let me look into this, part again. Let me go take pictures instead of his face. Let me go take pictures of, what's hiding in the shadows, and again. And so I thought to myself, like this would probably be a good time to kind of like, because obviously you working from that side and people saying this, does it make sense to you, Steve? So I think that most of us can agree that a gun was there based on the information of what Anna had told her friend that Gray repeated on his live, based on, like, do you know what I mean? I'm going to say it's up in the very high percentages that it's very true, that they cut out the part of, the gun cocking or whatever it was.
Yes.
So do you think that do you think, first of all, that he was dressed up in any way like an LE or some sort of authoritative figure at all?
It's so easy to portray a law enforcement officer from just the mannerism or saying that I'm undercover or something. I mean, it's so easy. You look at traffic stops, how prevalent they are of people impersonating law enforcement officers. And if you want to try to gain control of children, most certainly tell them you're a law enforcement officer, because what do we do as parents that if in times of trouble, go to a police officer?
Yeah.
It is ingrained into them to listen to what police officers say. Right. And so with a true predator that understands that is a very likely possibility, not saying it happened, but it's extremely possible.
Right. And someone was arrested on the 14th, I believe it was, or the 15th, for pulling someone over impersonating a police officer.
Yeah, from Frankfurt.
Yeah. I was, along with what Steve said, I was looking up things and found what it takes or how you can impersonate a police officer. And these are just some bullet points: dressing like a police officer, such as police uniform, etc. Using flashlights on your vehicle, more specifically red or blue flashing lights. Using counterfeit or stolen badges, flashing a fake badge or a police badge, and simply leading someone to believe that you are a police officer, like Steve said, by saying, I'm undercover, etc. Impersonating an officer is easy, as he said, because you can buy uniforms, badges, utility belts, vehicle accessories, etc. Online.
Yeah, especially now with Amazon.
Right. You think about people that do funny show up to do birthday songs, or they strip or whatever for your birthday, and a lot of them will show up dressed like a police officer. So those were some of the things I came across.
Deb, sounds like you have some fun birthdays.
No. No, not at all. Not at all. Where did
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Deb. I'm sorry.
No, I'm
No,
here.
I was done.
I'm just getting some pictures ready, and I just didn't want you guys to hear the ding, ba-ding, ba-ding, ba-ding. So yeah, so just again, look, anyone that's in chat there, 62% so far have said that yes, they believe that he was pretending to be an authoritative figure. Hi, Jane from the country. How are you? So anyone in chat, what's your guys' thoughts on that? And as you answer or you see some questions, and I'm just getting a few pictures ready.
Oh, did you have a poll? I didn't see one.
Yeah, no, I put a poll up there. If anyone thought that, that basically.
The only thing I see pinned is a message that you said, "Hi, Callie. I'll see you soon. Hugs."
Yeah, Adam, I don't know. It's right there.
You pinned it. You pinned the message.
No, it's a poll. Like there's polls there.
When I hit the only pinned thing says, "Hi, Callie, and see you soon. Hugs."
Yeah, no, I pinned another message. Maybe I didn't pin the message. There. I didn't probably pin that message, but I did a poll. There's a poll there for like I see it still. It says end poll or.
Okay, everyone in the chat back me up, because it says pinned message, right?
Oh no! There is for what? What's the pin message for?
Hi, Callie, and see you soon. Hugs.
Did I pin that?
Yeah.
Pin the wrong one then. Hi, Callie. But I pinned the wrong one then, because I wrote something after that, and I guess I didn't pin that. But regardless, you don't see the poll though. You're saying, correct?
I don't, but you might have taken it down. I'm not sure.
I see it says poll 95 votes.
Yeah. Yes, peace. Sorry. Yeah, what I was gonna say was, can you please drop Steve's link for True Crime Web? And again, if anyone's watching this video later or tonight, right now, please head over to Steve from True Crime Web's channel. Again, he's an up and coming channel. Basically finding his niche in, how do you say that? Niche.
When is your next live, Steve?
We've got some research I've got to do, and I've got to decide. Sonny's going to help me out tomorrow night.
Yes.
Give me some information on one angle, and then I got to look at the Evansdale thing. That's probably the number one email I get, or that I read, is the people's interest in Evansdale and the Delphi. And so we're going to probably look at that. So I don't know how long it's going to take me to do. I mean, we're going to have something by next Wednesday, of course, but I've got about 5 topics, and I just don't know which one I'm going to do next. I was doing some research, and I've got another creator or two that's helping out doing research on a couple other shows. And if that comes through, and as soon as we get it, if I do that, that's extremely complicated.
Okay.
But there's no lack of topics to do.
Yeah,
yep.
True. I saw in the chat somebody was mentioning, I think it was Beyond. Let's see, who was it?
Yes, the Hillside Stranglers.
Right. Yeah. He posed as a cop, and so did Ted Bundy. He loved to pose as a cop, or a authority figure of some sort. He did as well. And then the Golden State Killer was a cop.
Yeah,
And
he
there
was.
have been several. Drew Peterson, he was also a
Oh, yeah.
cop. Yeah. And he
Yeah.
killed 2 wives.
Maybe 3.
So, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's definitely something that people who I think want to kill people or rape or whatever have a fantasy. And it makes sense because they have a need for power over someone.
Yeah.
You know,
It
to
fulfills
control
that
someone.
dominance.
Right. And they say a lot of, no offense, Steve, a lot of killers. There are many, many killers that have wanted to be a cop.
Oh, yes. And nowadays, they some of the psychological testings and interviews and
Yeah,
has weeded out some of those.
that's great.
Yes,
It's
but back in the old days when I came along, there wasn't anything like psychological testing. You know, if you had the desire and if the powers that be wanted you to be a police officer, you was going to be a police officer.
Right.
Yeah. You know, the Missy Beavers case,
Right.
the person who killed her that they have on video going through that church looking was dressed as a police officer.
It looks like it kind of. Yeah, they're wearing SWAT type clothing with
Yeah.
the.
He had wearing a black helmet, black gloves, a vest that said
Mhm.
police.
Or she.
Yeah, or she, right. Could have been a she.
Yeah.
And they were like going through there looking for her. So it's definitely something that's a possibility.
That case is a little wild as well, but
Yeah.
And I think anyone that's ever been, like in my day, it was like what were the I can't remember what cop cars were, like a Ford Mercury or something. But anyone that's ever had a white car behind them with like a deer spotting light on it,
Yeah.
you immediately think it's a police officer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to let Dave D know, Steve doesn't discuss who he thinks his bridge guy is, so I'm sure he's not going to answer this question, and obviously for good reason, because usually, you know what, because then people start going around saying that Steve said this, Steve said that,
Yeah.
so he just keeps the
And it's
beat.
very important that, I don't want to play any part in it. That once I say something, if someone gives me greater weight than what they would on their own, I don't want to rule out anyone or for any reason.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
Kimmy Canuck has a good point. She said the possibility that it was Abby's arm in the video. When you see her arm there, he could have just grabbed her and demanded they go down the hill, slap cuffs on her, anything.
Absolutely.
Possibly that was
We just don't know.
Grabbed her and then demanded they go down the hill. Okay, so my thing is this. If he was being an authoritative figure, do you still feel like he needed to pull out a gun if just a uniform almost in itself might have been like, oh crap, we're trespassing or something like that? So it's do you think so, Steve? I mean, I guess it's one of those things. Yeah, it could go either way, but it's just kind of like, okay, so if he does have an authority, kind of like, again, and I'm going to stress this so much, what you see in the video is so deceptive to the truth of that video. And
we have to think about, as he approached these victims, you have to imagine that you're talking about a psychopath. At what point does his fantasy start? At what point does he want to see the terror of these children?
Mm-hmm.
And is that as they recognize that they're about to be assaulted? And there's so much to when you're dealing with a psychopath and trying to understand, was the abduction part of this murder, was that part of his fantasy of contact and control? And how much of the audio is there, and when did the audio end, and when did the video end? But was part of his fantasy that he was going to go to another location? Because in most abductions, you have to have a place pre-planned that you're going to take someone. That if you target victims, if you're going to abduct them long term or for any time, you have to have some place to take them or some way to transport them. If you know you're going to just instantly murder some victims or something, it's not so much, but you're dealing with a different type of personality. But it depends on the exact profile of this individual and what fantasies and how far he moved the victims during that abduction and what was said. The fantasy parts of these psychopaths is far more complicated because it's feeding their fantasy. And he may have been an authoritative figure, but then he wants to shock and awe. I mean, there's just so much can go on.
Right.
And it's so, it's not, and we just don't know what part and when if we had the 43 seconds, we might be of the full video, we might could see some more of this and mannerisms.
Yeah. Now, Barbara McDonald from down the hill and from HLN, she has said that Tobe Lesenby told her the only words spoken by BG are on the audio they released.
Yes, video. As long as it was playing and recording. Now, if they have a 30-minute recording of nothing but dead air, that's one thing. But if they only have 43 seconds of just a few words said, but we do have continued visual, that's another thing. And I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, yeah, let me ask about this one, because we know when that Renner guy, remember that Renner guy that was James, what's his name? James Renner, right?
James Renner?
Yeah.
James Renner, I think. So we know he was talking to Tobe, and we know he was talking, or no, sorry, it wasn't that. It was on the, I think, the Down the Hill podcast that I listened to, now that I think about it. And I remember, Adam or Dub, do you guys remember when the person asking the question on the HLN was saying, asking them about how they felt listening to the tape? And and do you remember the answer was basically that about basically the girls being, they could feel, see, or whatever it was, feel.
He said at least one of the girls, you could tell that at least one of the girls knew what was about to happen.
Right.
That was what he said.
So I have a hard time believing when I was listening to them talk, because they obviously knew more. I believe that there's more than just what we heard. And go ahead, Deb.
Maybe, maybe because of the sound of the gun cocking, maybe when they saw that, they realized it, or I don't know.
I have to listen to those words again, but as I listen to the words, it's just one of those things where it's like, for them to make those type of statements meant to me that there was more, that they saw more and heard more.
I personally believe, and as Steph said in there, I have some of the videos where when law enforcement's talking about how brave Libby was, and I don't think you would refer to someone being brave by just taking a video of a man walking across the bridge casually. But if you're taking video of a man that's armed with a gun walking towards you, that is a definition of bravery. Two different things. That what did she see and why did she react, and how brave and what did she do to memorialize that event that would say that she showed a certain amount of bravery far beyond her age. And that's not just taking a picture of a man walking across a bridge.
Or maybe there's more than one video.
There could be, yes, there could be more than one video.
Maybe there was maybe there was another video, even not just taken by Libby, that Ellie has seen. Yeah.
Right.
There's so much that they can tell by forensics. I think I talked about, they knew that one of my cousins, that she had been injected with something and fell into an apartment because there were carpet fibers all over her front. She was drugged. So I'm sure that they can tell some of the actions and what happened based on the forensic evidence that they uncovered.
Oh, yes. I mean, like I said, working crime scenes is extremely I mean, you have to have a certain personality first off, because you're looking for that magic egg. It's like a giant egg hunt, and you're looking for that one clue that will absolutely link the killer to your victims. And but it's a, you can mess up too. I mean, there's a great burden upon you to do it correctly and make sure that you cross all the T's and dot all the I's and find it. And this bridge guy stuff, I mean, it's terrifying imagining that whatever time frame it took for these two little girls and whatever happened from the top of that bridge to their final location, we're having to look at a minimum of that. If that, I think it's, close to 800, 900, 1,200 feet, that took a certain amount of time to cross.
Yeah.
And what happened during those, was it a minute or was it 5 minutes? But whatever that time frame was they running or were they walking? And what part of the fantasy did that play in part of the bridge guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Elias says, I wonder if anyone thought to compare cellular phone activity pinging in that area before and after the third. I would assume so, that people that they were questioned would have. I'm sure that they would have probably looked at that, right?
If the FBI is involved in it, most definitely.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I actually hope that they did it on the 11th and 12th as well, because
if the FBI, they'll there's pattern analysis. It's just like geographical profiling. They're going to profile whatever the activities they who went to work every day up that road is going to ping at a certain time. You can tell so much data just for your normal, and that's the thing about, you can look at a town and tell who worked where and when, why, and how.
Oh yeah, I go to my parents for Sunday dinner, and my iPhone on Sundays, if you look at the screen on your iPhone, if you have an iPhone, your main screen, it'll give me a suggested location. The maps thing will come up, and it's always my parents' address, which is 45 minutes away. But they know it's only on Sundays, because it knows on Sundays I go to my parents.
Yeah.
Right.
And I always think that's so weird.
I know, right? Yeah. How many seconds of the video is there? 43. If so, then something else is on it. That's what they said, correct? 43.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 43 seconds. And Becky said, I have an email or a message where Becky said, agreed with the order of what they said, and that said that's all they said.
Mm-hmm.
And that the audio comes at the end of it. But that the audio is not necessarily at the same time that watching the video.
And the audio is very telling in itself. I mean, you're talking about an individual that wasn't shook up. He knew what the events could possibly lead to, regardless of what his intent was in the next 30 minutes. But he knew that you're talking about a very mature and a very controlling voice. This isn't someone that was shook up by anything that the girls were doing.
And there, in the 43 seconds, included Libby and Abby talking to each other as he was approaching. So Abby said, "He's behind me, isn't he?" And Libby said, "Mm-hmm." And then you hear, guys, that sounded like a click of a gun. And what scrambled so that you can't hear it is apparently one of the girls saying he has a gun. Then he says, down the hill, and they're like, there's nowhere else to go. This is the end of the trail. So, that's in 43 seconds includes him walking towards them and them talking before he ever speaks.
And I could understand law enforcement securing some of that video to weed out the false confessions at the beginning.
Yeah.
But now 5 years later, we need to know what that gun looks like. We need to know his mannerisms during those final seconds, because if he is someone that has committed such acts before, the normal, because I've been on stakeouts and I've watched these people, that their personalities and their mannerisms will change in those final moments before contact.
It's like a drug.
I mean, and it's you're getting ready for close quarter battle, and if he is a repeat offender, those mannerisms may have been repeated right before those final contact moments, and most certainly our victims and other potential victims out there might recognize that.
Yeah. And even I've heard this and read this before, that, you know, when someone's doing something evil like that, that their eyes get really, really dark. And maybe because the pupils
it's
enlarge.
dilation.
I'm not sure why.
It's
Yeah.
almost like, yeah, 'cause it's like a drug almost. Like the the dopamine, the serotonin, their levels go up because to them that's intoxicating, and it can dilate your pupils almost, which make your eyes go black.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so I go back to the young girl that saw him on the trail. She gave a description of Bridge Guy before his video was unveiled. So that was the first picture, and saying that she only saw half of his face and that he looked really scary. And then his eyes, she didn't know what color eyes were, but knew they weren't blue. So I'm wondering, were his eyes getting darker because he's about to do something really evil?
Oh, yeah. I mean, was he, was he evaluating her as a potential victim, and she had that intuition that, something bad here. And,
they said that, yeah, he looked at them, like kind of looked them over, wondering if he was looking to see if it was Libby.
Yeah. But support with staff up. Randy Gravitt, for whatever reason, I'm not a big person that watches TV, but I am one that watches the internet and YouTube, and so
Me too.
I had followed Randy over the years, over everything. Even I just check in with him every few months, and then I think about somewhere mid-March there was a big argument, and I saw Randy on Marvin Frank's show, and I said, "This is interesting," and so that's what was the final turning point, that I spoke with Randy and I spoke with Marvin Frank, and since then I spoke with them, and I had great feedback, and people said, "Well, are you going to start your own?" And that's what got me here, and I'm going to stay with Delphi. Of course, I've been hit with a lot of interest in going down different routes also. And who do you help, and how do you help, and how far do you spread yourself? And I mean, I want to help everyone, but I also want, this is my roots of where I started with Delphi. As far as creating content on Delphi, at some point, I know that there's only so much content that I can do once I make everybody aware of what the points from a law enforcement can do. But I most certainly will be working with other creators that want me to be on their shows, because there's the potential that what the people that's concentrating on Delphi are doing is that if this Bridge Guy is a potential budding serial killer, and he's had to change his ways, that there's a certain impact that web sleuths can have by keeping him low to ground, that there's an impact that, I can't do this. There's a certain fear factor. It's not that they fear like we fear, but they don't want to lose that freedom to live out their fantasies. And so there's a great impact that we must always, and if that's the thing, then we've got to at minimum do that.
Right. And in a way, couldn't Bridge Guy be living off of the high, one, if there's a video that he can watch to relive the crime, but also just the attention the case gets. If you're a real narcissist, or if you're a real person that that thrives on dominance and control,
and if that feeds that narcissistic thing and keeps him from killing again, it's well worth it, even on that.
I can't remember if you've answered this before, to be honest. I can't remember a lot of things sometimes. But do you believe that the person that was on the bridge has killed previously?
There's a lot of indications, and Carter also believes so, before he said it in one of his interviews, or at least the behavioral science unit, or whatever. if his comments on the Dr. Phil show are true, even from the behavioral science, there's great indications that you don't have that much control, and taking on 2 victims is you have to have a certain amount, that's not your first rodeo, and you don't speak in such a manner with such control of being immature and indecisive. We're talking about a man that didn't stutter. He was a man of very few words, didn't have to explain what to do, and that's through that his authoritarian mannerisms of those girls that knew exactly what he meant. And I don't know how much arm movement, hand movement he did, or his mannerism, his stature of whatever it did, but it most certainly controlled those girls at the beginning, or they would have just simply split up and ran. And
Okay. Question to this, and I think I said something before to this, Steve, is that obviously to me, the whole Keegan Klein thing introduced more people into this scenario of it, of Libby, because you know what I mean. I mean, just going with your tip, anyone's gut instinct that Anthony Schott's account talked to Libby at 8:00 in the morning. So meaning that already brought another big aspect to the case. So my always thing is, whenever I hear to my ears that this person had such control and such this, well, when knowing that the Keegan Klein was brought into the scenario, that say in a sense, so let's just say that there's probably a good chance that that was the lure perhaps to the bridge. That would mean to me, of course, there's more than just that one person. So do you think at all in your thoughts with this whole Delphi case so far that there was watchers, people that where his confidence came from was because there was lookouts to let him know, hence why he would have headphones on, etc., microphone. Just your thoughts on that part.
You can't rule it out for the fact that if they were targeted, how many people? I mean, is it a pedophilia ring of who would be involved? But when you start bringing in a large group, and the communications things is that was he so well organized and so well in touch that I'm going to be an authoritative figure? And do we have a scanner? And I most certainly don't know everything about the headphones and stuff like that, but it most certainly is a possibility for the fact that if you're scanning the scanners,
Yes.
Bank robbers do it all the time. They won't know when law enforcement is being dispatched. So there is a possibility of that. Is he working with another person? But as far as a large group, I don't see that. Maybe, one more possibly, but regardless of if he's either an individual or he is working with at least one more, bridge guys, whoever's holding the gun is the dominant.
Right. What's the old saying? Two people can keep a secret if one of them is dead.
That's correct.
Right.
Yeah. I thought I sent a picture to myself, but anyways, go ahead. If there's some more questions, answer. I'm just going to send another picture to myself here from my iPad. I know that there's been people saying stuff in chat there. Just give me a moment.
I thought this was interesting. I read that identify who is at risk of being a victim. It said police impersonators are often looking for anyone who seems exposed and easily fooled. This means that younger people as well as elderly are most at risk to be victimized by police impersonators. With that said, criminals often commit crimes of opportunity, meaning they may impersonate a police officer in order to commit another crime against anyone that presents as an easy target. So maybe, he saw two young girls who were an easy target, or had been talking to two young girls that he deemed as an easy target.
Yeah. We know the girls were targeted. We just don't know how long they were targeted. Was it 5 minutes? Was it the first time, or was it 5 days or was it 5 months? And but at some point, the psychopath had made the decision that these are the victims, and for whatever the motive or motivation is it something from the clients or is it something from one of the other angles? Don't know. But and law enforcement will be running parallel investigations into several of them. They'll have files that will go whichever way they, and people will be tracking down each of those leads in the proper context.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hey,
Now,
chaotic.
in your opinion, Steve, do you think that, the idea if Bridge Guy was impersonating a public servant or a law enforcement officer, does that eliminate a certain age group from being Bridge Guy? Or, because, would a 14-year-old girl take a 19-year-old seriously if he had a badge on the bridge? Or do you think?
In my personal opinion, is he is older than that, so I hadn't even considered that he's just a 19-year-old. And so I know that within the profile they say 18 to 40 or something, or something like that. And but no, I've never even considered that he's at the young end from the amount of control that, for that exact reason that you're reasoning, that is, would a 14 or 15-year-old, 13-year-old, 12-year-old, a 12 or 13 or 14 might, but looking at Libby, unless he knew her age, he wasn't going to be placing her at 14.
Right.
And so the targeting aspects of it is that I agree with you that more than likely some of these people wouldn't listen to someone they thought was underage, because I've been on calls myself where I was a senior officer and there'd be a young police officer there, and everybody in the world argues with the young police officers. And when they looked at me and I told them what was about to happen, they said, "Yes, sir."
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and to me, I look at how Bridge Guy is dressed on the bridge, and I don't see that as being convincing that he was a police officer. He looks like a hobo or
Which is something I asked my wife, and I'm interested about from the women of perspectives of what do you think his home life would be in from his clothing. Because each of us have certain individuals that, I dress a certain way. And what do you take from the way that he was dressed that day?
Right. And were those his clothes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can tell. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, yeah, Sonny, Deb, Adam, what do y'all think about his clothing?
Okay, go ahead, Adam. You start first if you want. Sorry, Deb. Got this in your face. Yeah,
okay.
I personally, I know that Sonny sees I know that, the dent in the hat is a huge thing for Sonny, as far as, that possibly could, mean someone that could have taken Ron Logan's clothing or something. I don't know if I think that I've ever since we've had that conversation, I've started noticing that, occasionally my hats will have dents like that. Not all the time, but sometimes. And then I'm like, oh, does that, but, so I think it's kind of a stretch to think that Ron Logan's clothing was stolen, but I don't think it's a stretch at all to think that Bridge Guy would have been wearing clothing that was deceptive on purpose.
Okay,
Deb. You done? Okay. I look at him and I think he's dressed in old clothes that he doesn't care anything about, because he knows what he's going to do. Whether he took them from somewhere else or they were old clothes he had in his closet, I don't know. But I feel like he is dressed to commit a crime and in clothes that he can dispose of afterwards and not care about.
Okay. Are you done, Deb?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say that I can tell that there's holes in his pants. Like I said, everyone knows who my POI is regardless, but let's just talk about visually, about BG regardless. Yes, I look at the hat, and because of that dent that you guys can see right in front of you, it's just very odd to me that if I laid it out in 3D, it can basically verbatim sit in that thing. So, but is it an end all to be all to me? It's no. What it is because of the Garrett Kurtz connection to the land, it seems like a very plausible thought that maybe they were trying to frame Ron Logan, in a sense, because obviously the evidence was to mislead in a different direction. And like I said, so we're not, thank you, Laura. We're not, like I said, who knows who was truly all, involved in this. Like I said, some of them think that they're smart. Maybe they thought that they were going to Ron Logan. Maybe they didn't. I find it interesting though that Garrett used the word, "Oh, Ron Logan, yeah, he's a perverted old man," like joking, but letting people know that. How people are kind of like almost like planting a seed.
Thank you very much, Laura. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Perfect,
Thank you,
Laura.
Laura.
Right over Deb's face, right? I know. For
Yeah.
Deb. Oh, I know. Thank you so much for that, Laura. We appreciate it. And please, again, anyone, if you could just get this in there quickly. Oops, I keep having showing. If you could, first of all, like and share this video. Keep awareness for Braden Mahon's case, and obviously, True Crime Web. Steve is joining us tonight. If you haven't, please go over and subscribe to him as well. I know Peace will always drops the links for that. And so, yeah. And of course, if you want to become a member of the channel, you can just go to this channel and hit join, and then you can become a member of our Facebook group, our private Facebook group. And yeah. What?
Aw.
What's
Laura
aw?
gave
What's
5
Laura?
and said she appreciates
Oh.
Steve.
Thank
I'm
you. You know what?
glossing.
My
You
bad.
can't see
We
me.
got a
I'm
gloss.
glossing.
I'm so sorry, but Laura needs to see us gloss. All right, Steve, where's your chapstick? You got it?
Oh yeah, I've been looking for it all night.
Gloss them up.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we need to support and send Steve some man gloss.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What is man gloss?
Well, man gloss would be
You mean
still
man gloss isn't the shiny stuff I put on?
Okay.
It can be if you want it to be.
What's that one?
That's the music to the second one for Steve.
Oh, did she do? Oh, she did two.
One for
Yeah,
me and
one-
one.
One for,
Oh.
yeah.
Aspen Connor, appreciate you. Yes, Aspen, you know how much we love you. Deb, we know how much we love you. Steve, I'm so glad that we have come to get to know you. Gotten to know you, if that a word. And I know, like I said, you had reached out to me at some point because of being on Marv and Frank show and Randy, like months ago there, you'd sent me an email, and I'm just glad that our paths have crossed. We truly do appreciate your knowledge and insight. I could never get sick of you personally, and I know the other two have said the same, because obviously to us, it's a bonus that we can. Oh, I think Adam's playing.
I am. I moved Deb because I wanted. I couldn't see Deb, and so I moved me to the bottom and put her up there.
Yeah.
And
Can
Deb,
you still hear me?
thank you, Laura.
You moved.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you very much,
Thank
Laura.
you, Laura. We love you.
Okay, wait, hold on. There's another one. So Deb, I appreciate you. Okay, you know what, Laura? There's one coming for me. Because if there's then obviously then me and you're gonna have an issue here. We're gonna have to. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, there's Deb's.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'm gonna move Deb to the bottom again. Okay.
Yeah. And Sweet Caroline, I'm sub to them already. Peace. Yeah, again. So please go over to Steve True Crimes channel and give him some love. And you know what, Peace. You have no problem. Yeah, go over to Peace Not Silence channel.
Right.
Does such an excellent job modding. Belinda's out there too. Appreciate the mods and appreciate the fact that you're taking care of that, so we don't have to kind of keep struggling to try to do that and then talk and then hit questions. Yeah.
Sonny's is 569.
She appreciates you the most.
It's not now.
Okay. My lips are going to be so glossy.
I mean, I'll drink to that, Laura.
Well,
Let me
won't
just.
you?
Oh, you already got it up here. My bad. My bad. My bad. Right,
Yeah.
we have to see Adam. Adam, did we see you gloss already? There you go.
Yeah. I just put me at the bottom so Deb could be at the top.
I just appreciate the fact that people, you know, it does warm my heart when I see that they add that 69 to it, because it means I'm listening and I hear you, Sonny, that
Right.
you talk about your 69, because it does. I mean, I've always all my life have been like 69, great position, good
Mega
year.
pint for Sunny.
Summer, huh? Mega pint.
For Sunny.
You know what? I know. I mean, my husband wasn't kidding you. There's mine. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You know something else about? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to talk about his clothing again.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Wait a second. Hold that thought. Okay, now go.
Okay, I was just going to say, you know, something else that growing up in the Midwest, when someone wears old baggy jeans like that, because you can tell that his legs are skinnier than his upper body. And when someone wears old jeans like that with holes in them, one of the reasons that you would wear baggy jeans sometimes in the woods is so you don't get briar sticks stuck to your legs. So when you're walking through brush and things like that, the stickers, or we used to call them stickers, I don't know what they're technically called, would like stick into the denim. Yeah, but they wouldn't actually cut your legs. Where if you wear like tighter jeans like I would wear normally, you know, they would cut through the denim into your legs. But wearing baggy jeans like that, it's going to protect your skin from getting any sort of thorns or anything in it from when you're walking through brush, which is really common when you're hunting.
I was going to say, regardless of the BG being, you know, my kitty, they've said they believe he's a hunter. You know, like just all those different things. Absolutely. Agreed. I don't think anyone probably disagrees with actually that, to be honest with you. So the way I see myself, just going back to that, if you don't mind, Adam, I see that as a newer jacket. I feel like that one was either somebody's jacket that was given to him, perhaps newer one, but yeah, absolutely to be disposed of, burned. I believe that it will come to fruition that at some point we'll find out that the clothes were burned, because you'd be an idiot not to. So, you know, like meaning people have memorabilia, definitely, but you'd be an effing idiot if you kept that clothing, for sure. So I actually believe it was burned right after. Again, so it's kind of like baggy jeans that necessarily don't fit him, and you can tell, like I said, yes, that the jacket's stuffed, and that his jeans are holy. There is holes in there. I've seen the holes
at the knee. At the knee, like at the knee area, especially.
Yeah.
That this to me, it looks like a blue windbreaker. I mean, it doesn't. It's a simple blue windbreaker.
You know what? I will say yes. I actually had a picture, but I don't have it up with me right now. That I wouldn't consider it like a heavy winter jacket. I consider it like, okay, so let's just say, and we'll get into this too right quick here. I consider it like a lighter mid-thick, right? Like that windbreaker texture, but maybe a little bit heavier than a windbreaker, perhaps. I kind of seen a jacket that I kind of thought was more it, but it's definitely not a heavy jacket. I don't believe, because I believe that underneath that jacket is probably a hoodie. Is definitely probably a hoodie.
Oh, thank you, Laura.
Your wife,
Mr. Sonny.
Oh, Mr. Sonny, your wife robbed the cradle. Right. You know, can I just quickly say something that I just want to say that I have. Okay, that's okay. Obviously, that music just cut me right off. No, thank you again, Laura. I just want to say again, you know, I know it's my husband's birthday, and I know, you know, thank you. I think Copper Horse put out $69 tonight, and again, I appreciate the number, I do, but my husband, you know, he's, like I said, yeah, he's 32. I'm 50, gonna be 50. Well, I'm 52. I'll be 53.
You're gonna be 53 in a few days.
Yeah, like July 3rd here coming up, I guess. Yeah. Right. But anyways, you know, again, yeah, I have no problem the fact that my husband's younger than me because I just want to say this again. He is more of a man than any man that I have come across. There's only one other
What about me and
person.
Steve?
Pardon?
What about me and Steve?
No, you guys came in
I
after
mean,
the picture.
okay.
Yeah. But there's my husband I hold on a very actually high pedestal. Like he's definitely not perfect. And I'm not perfect, but together we're just like best friends. And my husband has never said a bad word. He treats me with love and respect and kindness, the way that people should be treated. And especially after being from abusive relationships and stuff, you just appreciate that. Hey, you know what, this person really loves and supports me. And and yes, my husband is very funny. In fact, it pisses me off that he's funnier than I am, to be honest, because I've always been a joker. But my husband just is. He gets me like the stuff that he says, and I'm sure the British accent helps there for sure. But it's just, yeah, he's just got such a great sense of humor. Mrs. Steve, she's definitely a Georgia peach. That's your wife.
Aww.
Yeah, I know, and I'm so sorry the other night that yeah, that kind of got cut short with her, and then we'll have to redo this again,
Yeah.
if she doesn't mind. Yeah, look at Laura.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah, you notice how you didn't get a 69 though, Steve?
The what?
Yeah.
I personally think
Oh my
it's
God.
overrated, but
Yeah, there you go. Right there at it.
I
Yeah.
do too.
Yeah. So, so for all those believers
Oh.
that thought I wasn't married.
You'll have to ask Mrs. Steve. I'm not going to tell you which one's older, myself or Mrs. Steve.
Is she like Sonny and me? I married a slightly younger man.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, she's 3 months
Slightly.
older than I, and so I give her the devil during those 3 months.
My ex was 13 years older than Sonny's age, same year, 69. And I liked that I was the younger one.
Yeah.
Especially by my favorite number, 13.
Is it? Is it because of your birthday?
Well, no, it's my favorite number. Always has been.
Is it? I never liked 13, to be honest. It was always brought up as that it was an evil number growing up.
Nope.
You'll never find a 13.
Makes sense.
Like,
go
ahead.
My husband asked me to marry him on a Friday the 13th, and we got married. And we got married on a Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Can I ask really quick, Nicole? I have watched those videos, and I'm going to stand by what I said. They're 100% bullshit.
Which
What
ones?
videos?
UAP. I don't mean that disrespectfully at all.
Yeah.
I have watched them because there's not a thing in those videos that I find reputable.
You know what? Yeah.
And again, I don't mean that disrespectfully.
That UAP, I remember, tried to come across almost like that. I mean, that was the whole portrayal, almost like it's supposed to be believable, like it was come out like it was official. It was just, and to me, that's just being deceptive because it was purposely done to be that way, with that kind of intent behind it to make it seem that way. But you know what? If people have brains of their own, which they do, then obviously they can decipher between the bullshit and the truth, because you've done enough work for yourselves to understand what is bullshit, and then the ones that want to believe it and stuff like that.
Right. It's a great story.
Yeah, and yeah, it's Adam's bedtime story. I usually tell him at night before he goes.
Yeah. You get gas masks and all these, things that
There's no gas mask. Yeah.
Yeah. Why would somebody have a gas mask?
Thanks, Laura.
And that's something I don't know anything about demonetized. I don't know what the process of all that stuff is, and but my wife and I, we discussed that, and to each creator their own what they wish to do with it. But we've discussed of of investigative funds, charities, and things that we'll probably look at. But mostly on the investigative fund side of it that we're looking at is I am a crime scene guy. And if there's private investigators out there and there's families that need help, that is an avenue that I have a very unique skill in, that I can go out and possibly help families either gather certain evidence forward to be passed along to the investigative thing. But that's just something that we're going to have to consider later on. But that's going to be a long time. I mean, that's not tomorrow.
Steve, that won't be that long.
Yeah,
You'll be there in a month.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, Adventures with Purpose, again, going back to them too, right? I mean, if it wasn't for all the donations and the different things that they do, look at Laura go. Laura, are you spending your whole paycheck on us today? Dr. Deb, thanks to him for letting us. Well, I have Laura. Okay.
I've got 10 if he takes her back.
I got 2 cats named Montana and Bambi. Just to go ahead and split it up, okay? Montana. I got a brother-in-law here too.
Well,
anybody else got anybody?
Now it's just highlighting that I don't.
So Deb, go ahead. Dr. Deb, thanks to him for letting us know we have a lot of Deb's time. Laura.
That's so sweet. That is so sweet, Laura.
Yeah.
She is so sweet.
We all appreciate Mr. Deb, but we've never seen Mr. Deb, so we don't know.
We would like to, but
we don't know that Mr. Deb is real. We've actually never seen. We've never even seen that door open.
Sonny stalked him, I'm sure.
Oh, I
No, I mean, I only on your
that
Facebook.
door open. We don't know what's on the other side of that door.
He doesn't have a Facebook. You mean on my Facebook?
On your Facebook, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or at least not that you're aware of that he has a Facebook. I mean, I do my research. No.
I made him put together one a long time ago, and he named it something stupid. I forgot what it was, and now he doesn't even know how to get on it.
I'm about ready to post my cat.
This is not to digress too far, but Deb, did you know? I was reading a story recently about, because your husband is a psychologist, and there was a story about the Facebook algorithm, and it had to do with people that liked the Facebook page of their psychiatrist. Yeah. And so what it had started to do was Facebook started to suggest the patients of this one doctor to each other as people they may know under Facebook's algorithm, even though the only connection they had was that they all went to the same psychologist, which in a way is a HIPAA violation.
Yeah. Well,
because, and so I thought it was a really interesting thing about algorithms and doctors.
Yeah. Well, he does not see patients. He runs facilities that are grant and state funded that oversee what these facilities are doing. He oversees what they're doing around the state. Make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. Yeah.
He's administrative.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, just a reminder. If you guys could all just hit that like button. I haven't been doing much today. Was talking about that stuff. But thank you guys for hitting the likes and coming to watch us. And so do you guys, because I don't really want to be on here too long, so I have to cut my husband's hair. So maybe like another half an hour for me personally. I don't care if you guys keep it going, but just because I need to spend some time with him before he leaves me for a few days. You know what? But a few days is like 2 weeks. Is like, seriously, when he's gone, I love my husband. I love being around him. Someone just asked me that today, like, well, don't you enjoy your space a little bit? And I'm like, actually, no. Sure, okay. I come home and go, woohoo! Oh, nobody's here. Okay, but I love my husband being around all the time. When you some people don't like that, and other people do. Mm-hmm. Well, we love it. So we like being in each other's company. It's again like two friends hanging out and. So, but anyway, so do you mind if I just get to some of the pictures to show, and then we can go from there, unless somebody had something else to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else.
I'm actually going to use the restroom really quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. Actually, yeah, I'll just I'm gonna pull us down in a sec because I show the pictures anyway, just so it's bigger. Okay. Whoops, there we go. Okay, now I'll just actually stop that. Okay, so let's go back to this one here. Okay, so oops, I totally opened up the wrong thing there. I want to go right here. Okay. Wait. Hold on, Laura. Whoa, I seen this. All of a sudden I just hit the screen up and then Aspen Connor. Oh, I love how he goes to the bathroom from Adam's Secret Admirers. Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
And she even put a little soccer ball there.
Oh, hold on. Let's just hold on. Let's
Okay.
just, you know what? Let's do this without Adam. Let's just do this without Adam. Let's gloss.
I golfed twice for Steve.
You know what?
I golfed twice for Adam.
Yeah.
So.
You know what? You're gonna appreciate. Your wife's gonna appreciate these soft lips.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She is.
After 32 years, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but she's gonna be like, honey, your lips have never felt so smooth and so.
I heard my name when I was going to.
Yeah, because Laura
Thank
said
you.
from Adam's Secret Admirers. Definitely, I'm one.
Aww.
Right?
Thank you, Laura.
I think Steve over there is as well. I'm just saying, and Deb, not so much. But you know what? Let's just say, yeah.
Why is it always me?
I don't know, Deb.
Always me?
Because we're talking about Adam this time, so I can't say that I'm not and you are. I have somebody that I got to pick on. Okay, let's go back to.
And everyone make sure you also subscribe to Chaotic. She has a great channel. She does a lot of work with and she does a lot of cases that people don't know about as much. But she's awesome and she has really cool nails for anyone that doesn't know.
Right. Yeah.
Now where'd Sunny go?
Uh-oh. I don't know.
I thought she was pulling a picture up.
Well, yeah, I was. And then you're like, where did Sunny go? And I'm like, oh, I'm talking to you. And I can't because I have a thing up in front of my face. So I'm going to have to close it off so I can answer Adam. I was like, Sunny's still here. I was just about to take us off screen so I can bring up the pictures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So. Totally muted myself there like an idiot. I was like, I went to go talk and I'm like, I'm not even there. Okay.
That's why I posted the word crickets.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay. All right. So, okay, let's just go through these quickly. So obviously I put this picture up. This one was legitimately just to show, hey, I mean, we all know on the left side of the video is the headphone on this side, but this just gives you exactly the fact that there's a headphone on his ear on this side. There's a lot more going on, but you know, I mean, I have to be kind of specific in what I'm trying to show in each picture because of the distortion of the video. So I think it's pretty plain to see that if anyone can't see this, this is clearly a round headphone that is on the BG's ear. So that just shows right there that he has a headphone set on because it's easy to see. At least I thought it was easy to see. His other one is right here. The way it actually looks, it always reminds me of a flying saucer when I look at the left side. Okay. So just a little bit here. So we're going to see a little bit more of this area here, but let me go to this picture. Okay, so as I decided that I'm going to actually focus on now on the jacket side of where the where it's more shaded from the sun side to the shaded side. So I didn't overly ever look at the jacket on the shaded side because I was focusing mostly on the face and on that thing on his hip and on the light side. So to be honest, I actually, wasn't thinking about all the stuff that's hiding in the shadows of the other side of the jacket, to be honest with you. Um, so when I look at this here, okay, so there's the mask, okay, and then whatever else is going on here. But let's see. So clearly, right here is a strap that's coming over his shoulder. Okay, now I'm not going to sit here and show you this as if I haven't thoroughly looked at many, 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 many pictures to show me that this is some sort of strap of some kind that's coming over his shoulder. And then you can see, because what I found very striking as I was watching the video, because I never, like I said, overly paid attention to the side of the jacket. And there's no way to me that these marks right here would be here unless there's some sort of, I don't even want to know, vesty thing, because you can see that, like, right here, there's something going on where he has some sort of vest that's creating this image, whether this is the patch or whether this is velcroed around his arm from something that he has going on here. We all know he has something on his back by now, I would hope to think. So just by pulling up this picture here, back to this, right? Okay, this is the hat area here. This is what's creeping up behind. And this is why I always said it's like some sort of pulley system, because that's how I saw it as. And I don't even still know what it is to this day, if it's a camera tripod or if it's, I still think, I used to think it was a bow and arrow. I really think it's something to do with one of those cameras that you mount on the top of your head. And it's almost like it has like, I'll deem it like a pedal a little bit, where it's like click, 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 some sort of recording device, whatever. I still think it's something to do with that. So I came across this image a long time ago, actually, probably about a year and a half ago. I looked at it multiple times in multiple different ways. I kept thinking it looked like, at first when I saw it, I was like, okay, this looks like perhaps the not a badge. I thought of it as a tagging for a jacket in a sense, whatever company this was, because I know I can feel like I can see letters here in this, or, and if it's not, but it seems like it is, but if it's not, then to me it was, obviously manipulation of when you bring something closer perhaps and then it distorts whatever. But I've spent a lot of time looking at this and then I just brushed it to the side. I thought
Sunny,
that this, yeah,
Sunny,
yeah.
what part of the jacket is that?
To be honest with you, I had to go re-look at this because even I forgot where this was. And this is actually what looks like perhaps could be part of a badge hanging around his neck. So it would be, Kate, where the thing is on his hip?
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it, the kill kit or
Yeah,
the whatever.
right.
So it's just to the right of that. Where the jacket, just think
Okay.
of what the middle section is. If you were hanging something on one of those bathroom tub cords, around your neck, it was hanging in that section of the jacket in the middle area. So,
Mhm.
like, meaning, let's see, do I have a picture here of the BG in full force? Um, mm, let me go grab a picture quickly.
You know what it always looks like to me, Sonny?
What?
And I'm not a sonogram.
I know, right? Right, I get it. Okay, I'm just gonna use this picture for the sake of it. So it's hanging in virtually like this area right here.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so there is a brightness, kind of like this is doing here. There's a brightness that happens in certain parts of that video. And again, the video, you have to capture every, frame by frame. But anyways, so there's a point where it flashes. on something, just like there's a flash over here, which tells me instantly that there's metal of something that's bouncing off this particular piece. So I kind of deemed it as a star, like a badge, perhaps, after, like, is it part of a star? Is it part of a cop's badge, a police badge? I don't know. Couldn't figure it out. Never went back to it after that. I looked at it a couple times going, whatever. It makes no difference to the the case in a sense to me. The only way that any of this stuff would ever make sense is if I could sit here and talk about something and then that person knew that that person had it as well. Whether it's, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, let me pull up this picture here. Okay. So what's this? Right? It's on the jacket. Right. And then to me, this is clearly an item because it is so straight. And I thought to myself, okay, is this like where someone would hang a badge? Is that perhaps this? I don't know. I turn it in black and white because it's the best view typically that I can show people watching out there in YouTube land. So I find that black and white. Okay, so here it is again. Okay. So this might mean nothing to you guys, but again, I will take the picture and then I'll go to that picture. I'll get the best possible out of any of the stuff that down at the bottom here. For it's not this one in particular, but when I'm in the program, I'll look for the best one that gives me the best ability to kind of pull it out. And then I'll take that picture because I'll take a picture of that picture. And then I'll bring in that picture and I'll do the same thing until I can get as close as I can to trying to figure out what it is. And so this here, right here, for instance, I'm like looking at this thing. I could see that there's some sort of metal, almost like a spindly, I don't know. I call it a whole bunch of nuts and bolts of some sort because it does. Or is it a distortion? But I don't really feel like it's a distortion. I feel because when you have something that has such a direct cut to it, to me, that is something, whether it's the tag of the jacket, which, whether it's he was portraying to be an officer of the law and it was a clip, whether who knows what it is. But when I see something kind of like what's over here as well, I know that there's an object there. I can see the object. I can see the squareness of this object, not in this particular picture. I think is it in this one? No, this isn't the best picture for it, but that's that object. I guess right here, but that's not the best picture for it. So when I see this in other ones, I can actually make out, like, again, what looks like numbers, as if it's trying to portray like it's possibly maybe someone portraying like they are an authoritative figure. When I look over to here, okay, I look to myself and I'm like, okay, what the hell is this? That looks like a chain link. Not to say it is, but again, I don't know what this is, but it looks like a chain link, but it could simply be, again, one of those chain links that the bathroom toilet ones look like. I don't know, right? I don't know. I know that there's definitely something here. I know that there's definitely, what do you want to call it? This strap going over his shoulder here. So let me go to this picture here. This is some sort of camera device, some sort of, I don't even know if it's a Wi-Fi type of signal. I don't know. I've seen this better than what I'm showing you here now, but you'll see that it's kind of square, but it's probably not, but it looks square. You can see the little peepee, like the little, if you were looking through a peepee hole through the door, well, you can see like the little dot as if it was like a little miniature camera. I don't think it's a camera. Maybe it is, but I can see right here where it's kind of thin and then it comes up. So I don't know my technology enough to understand what this is. So right here, you guys, right in this section here, this is the microphone coming off of the headphones on this side. But just so you know, that same microphone is coming off of this side as well. And I always thought it was odd that the microphone, it was almost like there was two different ones. I always felt like the one didn't belong with the other because each side looked different. But I know that there's one on this side because I've seen it before I even seen this one, to be honest, I believe. I can see the strap here, right? I can see the strap, whatever it is here, It's like it's almost like it's going over and around it, like a almost like something sitting in the middle, however you want to do it. But you can tell clearly something different is going on with this jacket, regardless, and that just brings you back over to here. Like you would not get this image, right? Like, see, there's something here. There's something here. And what the heck? Why does this thing keep looking like a star? Did you guys see that? It keeps looking like a star, but I don't believe it is. It just keeps looking like it. That's where that chain thing is that I just showed you, is in this section right here. But again, is it a chain? I can tell it's metal. Do I know what it is? No. I can see, those plastic clips when you're wearing something like a plastic, like let's just say you're wearing a belt and it has a plastic clip, but smaller, kind of like on a fanny pack. I see plenty of those things to know that on his other side, his left side, that he has some sort of, I'll call it like a gun holster type of utility thing that he has, the one that's in the sunlight side. But like I said, you wouldn't get this unless something's creating that. And it's not the sun. We're in the shade side. And you'll see something that reflects always, that's coming off right around this area, that the sun hits it. And if you guys watch the actual video, you'll see that if you watch closely in the areas, you'll see that it's literally little spoofs of flashes. That means it's hitting something, whether it's a button, whether it's actually, did I bring that one in? That picture? Did I bring that one? Oh, is it here? No. Sometimes I just wish that what I see versus what it shows on here. But I don't know that I brought that picture in, because I don't know how to explain it, but it looks like there's little spigots, the way it looks to me. When I say spigots, maybe it's a button that's here. But it reminds me of, when I say spigot, oh, I wish I had the picture. I'm sure I do. But anyways, the way it looks is deceiving, because it looks like, how do I want to say that? It looks like a little pinwheel in a sense. And if it had a little, about 50 little legs, and you spun it around, it comes off in the pictures looking like that. But yet I know that's not what it is. I can see that there's something right here. You guys might not be able to. This is, again, that same thing, the badge thing, or whatever you want to call it, whether it's an emblem of the jacket. But this is, look at you guys, okay? Just, again, I just try to bring it the best way I can. So this is hanging, and there's one right here. And I've seen it in this. I was just trying to show you the best way I can show it. But again, like I said, the bathroom, the tub chains, right? Those little things. So if this is hanging from over here or whatever, I don't know. But this thing, from what it looks like, is that this is hanging off of a chain. I could be completely wrong, but that's what I see, is that something is dangling off of a chain. And right. So is there words here? I don't know. Don't know. And this is why, when, like I said, I kind of veered away from looking at the clothes part so much, because I was so tired of looking at the side of his hip. I was sick of looking at all that stuff. Again, you can see, like I said, in this one, something's going on. Right? I mean, come on. Something's going on here. There's definitely, whether this is a vest, because you can see where an object is. So, like I said, we know that there's something on his left arm, whatever it is. We know that there's something on the side of his hip. We know that there's something that's on the side of his pocket. And I'll just keep saying this over and over. It's a very, very deceptive video. And I just wish a lot of people would understand that if they did this, that they would understand for their own selves that, hey, you know what? There's more here than what meets the eye. So, Deb, and do you mind if I bring this picture up and show people, Deb?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So, Deb put this in our messenger chat the other day, and I know this picture only too well. And Deb, she made a comment like, what the heck's going on with this picture? And I was like, oh, well, I kind of knew what it was, I thought. And I think Deb said something like, oh, it looks like two faces in one or something like that, or crossed over into the same picture. And I was like, yeah. And to be honest with you, I always deemed it as the mask, but I never really looked more at it than just that it was the mask that morphed in at a different freaking height from it,
Right.
from the frame before it.
From the
And so,
motion.
yeah, but then I realized that what Deb said when she said, like a two faces, I thought, you know what, let me just take a better look. So then I took Deb's picture, I highlighted it, and I said, so let me explain this picture to you. If anyone takes any burst shots, at some point during any of those burst shots, you will come across this picture. You will come across it simply because that video is just over 1 second long. So at some point, you will come across it. Now, Deb's picture was actually better than my picture that I had taken. And I just kind of blew off that picture. But let me explain exactly this picture. What happened here is that the BG's face morphed from the other frame into this frame. So this part of BG right here up until here, and this hence why the nose looks like this and it looks like it's not finished, is because it came in up here from whether he turned his head, whatever happened. It created two pictures in one. So this right here you can see is an eye and eye. But this part of the picture right here is actually the left side of his chin. So it's kind of like this one's overlapped into this portion of his chin. And the reason I know this is because you guys know that I look at moles all day long. You guys know who my POI is. And then hence why I'm said to Deb, like, hey, Deb, I'm going to take this picture. I took the picture, put it against Katie's picture to show. And Steve knows I sent him this picture as well. And then I was just like, so I brought it back. And I said to Deb, see what I mean? How is it possible? Okay, let me bring it in closer. So I've showed many, 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 many markings of the BG's face. But if you understand this picture, then you can understand these pictures. So this was actually one of the clearer pictures that I just took it. I could have done more with it, but I took it so I didn't confuse people that are looking out there. So if you look at the arrows, first of all, this portion up here morphed in. So I'm just taking what was given to me from here. I could have done one for the chin side. I just chose not to. I was working on it, ran out of time, whatever. Anyway, so if you look at this arrow and you look at that arrow, this is Katie's eye, like just above his eye there. There's a mole right there. If you guys can see that, I'm pretty sure you can. When I bring it in, it kind of blurs it, okay? So I'm not sure, but anyways, and then there's that mole, okay? Above the eye, knowing that this is morphed, because right, this is like his right eye morphing in with his left eye. That's hence why it looks like this. So again, this one here, if I pull it back, maybe pull it forward, okay, that mole there is that mole there on his nose. Again, same difference in, if you look at Katie's face, there's a mole there, there's a mole there, there's a mole there, there's a mole there, right in the exact same diagonal line. Then you come down over here, and then you'll see that mole that's on his face here. Again, I have to spend so much time taking these photos to enhancing them just so you can actually see his moles, because the pictures can really suck. And some pictures look like he has no blemishes whatsoever, but I know better than that. I know he does. So I have to search for whatever picture I can show anyone the best way to show it. So this mole here is this mole here. Okay. His nose cuts off here because it just morphed in. And this little bump here, I know this one's hard to see, guys, but there's a bump right here, just like there's a little bump right there. So when people want to talk about genetics and stuff like that, you can not find that same pattern. Plus more. So I could sit here if I wanted to, and we all know that there's a mole there. Okay. And you can sit there if you really wanted to, but maybe it didn't stand out here as well. And that's why I didn't highlight it. And I didn't want to overwhelm people. But if people really wanted to go look, okay, at the moles, well, again, just take what's kind of given to you. and so this one here would be actually this side here. So you're not really seeing it, but yet if you look here, you can see it in the darkness that mole is over here. But again, I just didn't want to overwhelm people. Just like he has a little, at the end of his nose here of Keegan's, he has a mole right here at the tip, just like he has that little dot here that shows up. Again, there's a plethora of moles like Keegan has. And if I run another picture, I can take this mole, and that, and place it right along his face. So I don't know what more I can do. I thank Deb for the fact that she took this, because she did her own work, and she just said, "What's this?" I took some pictures, and I was like so proud of her, because, I mean, it does somewhat dishearten me, because I sit there and preach it all the time that people can do their own work. And I don't know how many pictures Deb has taken, or Adam, or anybody out there watching tonight. But all I know is that it makes me proud when I see this picture and Deb going, what's up with this picture? And I'm like, well, here, let me show you, And so it's like I come back and I say, hey, look, here's this. Now, whether Deb says I agree or don't agree, doesn't matter. I'm just pointing out visually to anyone that says, hey, I want to look harder at, say, KD. I want to look at that. For me, I'm over it. I've been over it a long time, but I do love saying, hey guys, look, hey, here's something to think about. Go look at it more. Go take it yourself. So this is the picture right here. If anyone wants to come back and take a picture and then take it up into their own program to bring out all the moles, it's not hard. I mean, using the right picture, and this is a good one with KD, to be honest with you, that shows quite a few of the moles on his face. So I don't know, Adam or Steve or Deb or anyone, do you guys have anything to say about this picture, or any thoughts? Or, like I said, I'm just doing the work. You guys can think all what you like, and that's your given right. I'm just pointing it out. I'm just wondering if you guys have any thoughts at all.
I think your work on the pictures is really admirable. I have trouble convincing myself of things that unless they're concrete in front of me. So I think it's left up to interpretation. Plus, I don't know what we're looking at frames from a video. So there is overlap. Right. There is, not motion fixed, but there is, distortion. And, it was also 70 feet away, taken from an iPhone 7. So.
And plus, I can tell you, just like I never did, but I do now. A video is different than a still picture. Yes. A video you can bring forward, and it's not changing. Besides changing it coming closer to you, it's not changing the actual video in a sense itself. Meaning whether I take it from ISP and did it myself, which was the video. So like I said, I can sit there and take Keegan's picture right here, and I can show you just by his picture, but his picture isn't 70 feet away. But when the video comes in closer, absolutely, you can take and see freaking the eyelashes sometimes, in some cases, the moles that people go, you can't do that. You can't do that, And again, I'm not here to sit there and force someone to believe it. Right. It's one of those things, Again, if someone takes pictures and understands this, then they'll understand what I'm showing. So if I sent this, for instance, showed a criminal forensic person, right? Like the lady I'd sent my original pictures to, she admired the work for the time because she knew how in-depth I did what I did on the pictures. Whereas most people I know don't understand it. They might literally see shit all in this picture. Right. They can see that this one has a face.
Lake Michigan asked a question here that I'm curious. Being in law enforcement, Steve, what are your thoughts on enhancements in general?
If we have first generation is what it's down to. Mm-hmm. We don't know what generation we're working with here. Right. It was sent potentially to certain leaders in certain industries, and then law enforcement releases what we don't, of what they want to release that is possibly digitally edited. And what did they digitally edit? And I have no idea. What did they pixelate? I have no idea. I believe visual enhancements are great if you have first generation data.
Yeah.
And we most certainly don't have first generation data.
So are you saying, Steve, do you think, I mean, because I've always looked at the video as being just zoomed in from 70 feet away. Do you think that things have been digitally edited out of the video, or do you
Yes,
think
sir.
that you do? Okay.
You think
it
that
was
what?
done. I think there was a firearm digitally edited out, most certainly. But that was done for a certain reason, and for law enforcement to keep some information close to their chest early on. And I don't have a problem with that, but now 5 years later, I think that we need to go ahead and start letting some information out and give us that first generation so that people like Sonny can work with first generation.
Right.
And not working with something that may or may not have been altered. But that's just my opinion of it. And, and I could be dead wrong. But
can I ask, what's your opinion? I'm sorry. Sonny,
No, go ahead.
I was just going to ask Steve, what's your opinion on the grayish black bar that comes across the screen?
Okay, let me pull that back up.
The frame that's on the, if you're looking at the screen, it's on the left side of the screen, that a lot of people have speculated is Abby's arm.
Okay, you're talking about that part. Okay.
Yeah, that they, do you think, is that a digital editing, or do you just think the jacket's covering part of the camera at that point, or the arm?
And that's the thing that we need. I couldn't tell you. I don't know if it was which way it is, because if they release the 43 seconds unedited, regardless if they say, well, what we've done is we've made it the best that it can be.
Right.
Well, if that's the case, fine. But let us most certainly just have whatever. Don't care how bad it's pixelated. Don't care. I don't need a blow up. I just want to see 43 seconds of whatever they have and whatever it is, of first generation. And then let people go out there in the masses, because someone out there has great skill sets. That's I believe that we could benefit from.
Go ahead. I'm just playing.
Oh no, but I just want everyone to be on the same page that the best data that we can get is going to be that first generation of whatever law enforcement is pre-edited, or if I'm wrong, just play whatever you got.
And that's always been kind of part of my reasoning for not over examining the objects that I see in the video, because I don't know what's been done to the video before I've seen it. And I've said that. Sonny knows that. We've talked about it several times.
Yeah.
I know Sonny's process.
It's of no.
Which is why I trust her. But I also don't know what was done to the video or pictures before they even got to the public.
Correct. But it's all we got.
It's hard for me to put faith in that.
So right, and for me, it's like all we got. That's what I have to work with, in a sense. I took it seriously to what I was doing, and I still do, because it's about justice for the girls. So my thing is this: I would rather take that video and the information that's come from Open Secrets with Garrett Kurtz and Chris Mathis. I'd rather take that information any day than people that create creators that create videos that have no basis to their claims at all. Like when they're placing square pegs in round holes and creating content just because they're trying to make their story fit, and then yet there's no basis beyond it. There's no anything to even show besides maybe, oh well, this person interjected themselves into the search party. Great. So right. That's not to me,
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying, Steve? That to me, there's a difference. I'm taking something that ISP put out there for us. That's okay. That's the best I can do because that's all that
That's
they've
it.
given us. Right. And we have, again, and I'll say this till I'm blue in the face. You got two people that are talking about Delphi, and they're talking about involvement of certain people. You have a cryptic note to attach, a face mask to attach. Even like I always take that stuff aside typically because obviously to me markings will mean the most at the end of the day for me. What LE has beyond that, I'm sure is a lot more tremendous information. So there's a lot of times people are asking a question. How are like if someone says, right, well, if NASA couldn't do it and Disney couldn't do it, how do you know what NASA did or Disney did?
Exactly.
Like there's nobody has a right to even try to compare me to NASA and Disney when people don't really know what's going on behind the scenes of what they do have and don't have. Like I said, maybe they have a better picture and didn't want to release it to us. Maybe I don't know, but after 5.5 years, there's obviously something wrong. And whether it's that they don't have enough evidence to place Bridge Guy at the scene, maybe they don't have that full connection and they're just waiting for something to happen where somebody can say, you know what, I'm coming forward and I can give you this information. But, I mean, there's a lot more than just simply going, oh, well, here's the BG's most, Steve,
Right.
let me ask you. And I'm curious about this. I put this out to Cop Facts, but he hasn't. I don't know if he answered me back yet. I don't think so. But that video there, if Ken Ali do exactly what I've done, which I'm sure that they probably have, perhaps, especially if they know who it is, can they use that in a court of law to actually help prosecute based on markings or no?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, whatever technologies, I don't know what the technology was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Exactly what programs were out there, and what programs will be out by the time court is, if they do find who BG is and they decide to take it to court, regardless if they can use it, it will probably be used for other suspects that, okay, let's take these images and who else could it have been? It'll be used in the defense or the prosecution one way or the other. But, I believe that, it'll be released and during the discovery phases and you'll hear the exact same picture being two claims made of it, that this is BG and this is so-and-so. And if it's so-and-so, it can't be my client. And so there'll be great arguments made about all that video.
Yeah. Because I was just curious. Like, it's like, yeah, sure, I can say find these moles, but I don't know if it's something that they can actually use besides identifying, right?
And that's what and that's the point exactly. That okay, if someone arrests BG, and let's say that someone says, okay, well that BG isn't Sonny's, but Sonny has a really good point of this, that they'll use it for the defensive part of it. Not saying that they'll use you, but they'll get a professional.
Reasonable doubt.
Yeah. And they'll bring in evidence such as,
Yeah.
and they'll make argument, but they'll only be able to do that from first generation. They won't be able to do that from
right
what we have, which I believe has been digitally edited. I have videos on it, and I believe there was certain areas that were edited for concealing certain facts so that the public, that instantly, if they say, well, how did you gain control, that the person wouldn't automatically know that I was using a certain type of firearm.
I have another question, if you don't mind. So I'm not going to say who, but I have a friend that I know has worked on other cases, big cases. I had a conversation one day, and I was kind of feeling down about the whole why hasn't there been no arrest thing, blah blah blah. We were talking about another case that was going on, and I was feeling at moments I feel badly because I was like, literally calling out somebody. And obviously, I'm not here to try to ruin a person's life, but I also feel if the LE isn't doing shit, and I'm confident in everything that I've done, and I know myself enough to know that I would have never have ever said a name or attached a name if I wasn't sure of my work for it. Okay. Again, that's for me to be accountable for, say whatever. I mean, like I said, internally, I kind of joke with myself because I'm just like, I know he's not going to ever say nothing because he's going to try to keep his mouth shut as best as he can. But my thing is this. So I was like, am I doing the right thing? And I am asking, and the answer I got back was, um, yes, you keep doing what you're doing. And just so you know, the FBI is, um, this person literally gave my videos to her friends within the FBI. When I send my information in, it goes to a certain person in the FBI that directs it to the people working on the team. So, meaning I was feeling guilt. And then because of that conversation, I was full speed ahead. I was like, okay, all right. Because she said, and I'm sure that they do. Of course they would. They'd be idiots if they didn't watch videos because they could be learning stuff from the sleuthers. Absolutely. Stuff that maybe they didn't come across or information. Who knows? What are your thoughts on that? Because I was feeling guilty for going, oh, because there's crazy people out there. Yeah. There's a lot of crazies, right? And the thing is that I've never sit there and said that the person on the bridge is the killer. Not my job. But I can sit here to me and say, yes, you were there that day on the 13th, and that was you on the bridge. That I can say for me. That I can say. I can't say what you did beyond that. That's not my role. That's not my job. So, but anyways, how do you feel about what I just said, considering if I'm told, yes, you know what? No. You keep making those videos, like the FBI is watching your videos and and I've turned your videos into them,
Well, kudos for them to be open-minded enough to ensure that they have that. We don't want to shut the public out, and with that statement, and they're open-minded enough that they'll take anybody's videos and look at them, and which they should, just because somebody's right. If you got 10 creators saying it's 10 different ones,
Yeah.
but if one of them's right, that's all that matters. The other 9 doesn't matter. And whenever I do, I have for each avenue of that I look on my certain investigations, I have POIs at the end of that trail that they may be involved, they may know who is or whatever is involved. But for each of my scenarios, that when I look at it, the clan connection of not so, who within that pedophile ring, I don't know which one within the pedophile ring would be the POI, but I have that the POI would be a pedophile, and it's from that Anthony shots. I don't have an identity, but I have that there's someone that the FBI most certainly is focused on that's within that ring, I would imagine, or I would be whoever's my most likely. And then I would have one for if there's a revenge or if there's drugs or there's whatever, I try to, and, but that's a vast number of people to withdraw POIs from. I mean, is it someone that we know right now? Who knows?
Oh, that's right. Okay, so what I wanted to add to that, which I kind of forgot, was the one thing that motivated me back is she said, I've given your tapes over, and they told me to tell you that you're on the right track.
Okay.
That's what was said to me. And that's when I was like, all right, thanks. Full force. Here I go. And it's right. So, and then I thought to myself, okay, so I know I've had revenge and about, like a snuff film, from way back when and stuff like that. So it
What's the
was just
definition of their track?
right, exactly. So
Right.
meaning right, because I mean, my whole thing though, the whole time has been that it was revenge motivated. Doesn't matter about say exactly what that revenge was, but it was revenge motivated based around the fact of revenge to say Derek German. Like this is just my story that's never changed on this, and that Ashley Garth, Eric Kurtz, da 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 da, and that so basically it was all a revenge motivated thing, and that possibly or perhaps maybe it was done as well or for a snuff film, that maybe that's for the dirty sex rings that were coming to light from the whole Judge Faut stuff. So that was really the basis of anything, and I could never determine ever that this one person could do this by himself. Nothing for me has shown me, and then Keegan Klein stuff comes into it, and I'm just like, well, there you go.
Yeah.
There's the twist. That was because I've always felt, Steve, from the very get-go. And even though I came in late to this case and only a couple of years ago, I never even, well, no, I couldn't say I never swayed, but I always believed it was a lure that had brought the girls there. But what always threw me off is the fact of Becky said, Kelsey said that it was just a normal day, that they weren't planned. But then you had the girlfriend of Libby saying, no, it was planned. And I didn't hear that until like a year and a half later from Debbie, I think, when she said that. And I was like, oh, see, and then the whole Keegan Klein thing came out, and I was like, oh, okay. So this is a way back. I always felt it was a bigger thing than it was. And then kaboom, Keegan Klein comes out, and I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. Big twist. Anyway, go ahead.
Dave says here he thought the video for cloud account, not her phone. I don't know which way the video came. I don't know if it was from the phone or if it's off the cloud. Or I know there's a great argument about that between different creators.
Okay.
Anything in the cloud though would have come off the phone directly, because it would have been uploaded. The exact same thing from the phone would have been uploaded into the cloud.
Yeah, but if the phone was damaged, then they would have had I heard that it was from the cloud.
Right.
Is what
but my point was, it doesn't really matter because it would have been the exact content.
Correct. Yeah. Well, a lot of the stuff doesn't actually truly matter. What matters
I don't understand it, so I don't have any idea.
Yeah. I know. I distinctly remember that. But you know what? This case has had so much verbal diarrhea in it and so much twists and turns. It's enough to give anyone a brain ache and an aneurysm, perhaps, because it really does. It's it's frustrating. It's been 5.5 years. Give people more. I don't need more personally. No, I want to know why. Right? I feel like I know the gist of it, but I don't know the full story to me, and I want to know why. Why did what caused someone? Was it really, meaning, am I right? Was it revenge on Derek German, that this was payback for whatever, if it's true, being a snitch, whatever. We know that he was into shade. We know that he did things. It's, the whole town will tell you pretty much that no, because it's a small community. So was that enough to cause someone to go, hey, we're going to pay him back, and we're going to do what means most, because that's what some people do. These are sick, twisted people out there.
Deb's husband will probably be able to shed more light upon that, and I'm sure they've had some pretty good conversations about the personality traits of what type of monster would be able to even contemplate doing this, because it takes a certain type of personality to do what was done to these young girls. A typical person of sound mind that doesn't have certain traits is not. This didn't even calculate into revenge unless you are a certain personality type. Because I get mad at somebody, I might say, a couple of curse words and go on about my business, but I'm not going to pick up a rock and and beat them or go get a shotgun and shoot them. I mean, it takes certain personalities to do certain things. In law enforcement duties, if it was something that I had to calculate, I can do that. That if it's a lawful thing to do, but just going out and doing something from a fantasy standpoint or having a logical breakdown or being a psychopath, that's a different mentality and different traits.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel that see, I get it, but I'm not seeing this as so much as some of you are out there or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm seeing is if I felt like the BG did this regardless in a solo way, then I can understand that point of view more so. But when there's so much more to point that there's other people, and Keegan Klein, we can just say, because that has been introduced, that is fact, then that's when that whole story of one person doing all this and this whole thing is, to me, makes me just go, no, not possible. There's no way. I could see it if it was more one person that said, you know what, I freaking got a rage towards females, chicks, whatever. And then them creating that. I can't see one person going, let me take out two girls, let me go stage the entire thing, because for me, my whole brain, and I've thought of every scenario, like I'm sure a lot of you have, and it never equates to that one reason being like this was this sexually motivated killings of the girls and one person did it and thing. I just don't see it myself. I've tried to look at it, and every time I just don't see it at all myself. Not to say
At the end
right.
of the day, it's going to just come down to the personality type and the motivation. And we can complicate and make things so complex that we get away from the simplicity of why the crime was committed.
Right.
And that's what 5.5 years has done to us, that we have, we're just confused. And when you get
said
confused,
it was a complex case.
And
I believe that. They said it was a complex case, and I believe that. I don't think it's cut and dried type of case.
Especially when you look at the fact that, for 4 years, they said the social media was not a part of this case. And then the Anthony Schatz information came out, and it was a huge, I mean, this case, people were talking about it, after the first year, people started to kind of slowly talk about it less and less. But then, then the Anthony Schatz stuff came out, and it spiked.
Yeah. Well, now, and once again, we play with those words. That what does complex mean to one person versus complex may be numbers of suspects, not what the killer intentions were and what drove him. Could be very, very. It is a very, very simple thing, and we've overcomplicated that part of it. It's not that, when I talk about complexities, there's a lot of complexities in processing a crime scene, and there's a lot of complexities in running a very organized, well-detailed investigation. And so that's very complex.
Well, I think too, and I got to get going here in a sec myself if you guys don't want to continue. But I think, go ahead. What did you say,
No,
Steve?
I just said, go ahead.
Yeah, no, so complex, they obviously have to have warrants for Facebooks and checking different things and stuff like that. I'm sure that they've had to dive down with the whole porn thing. Different, like I said, right? They'd have to have search warrants. They would have to serve a search warrant, wouldn't they? Or information warrant, or whatever you want to call it, on things like, Snapchat, all the different things, making it say complex. Doug Carter did make that comment. Was it Doug Carter? I always forget if it's Doug Carter. Who's the one that you guys made the comment of many families basically will be hurt when the truth is being
Carter
told.
said that. Carter said that.
And to me, just those words said, for me, I felt like I understood those words.
That's the first time I heard that, but that is very interesting. And could you link me?
Did he use the word hurt or did he say upset? What exactly? What was the
Shocked.
word?
No, go ahead.
Was it
It was
shocked?
Shocked.
no. It was, you know what? I'd have to find the video
Affected.
unless anyone remembers exactly out there that what exactly he said. But he said it was something referring to almost if to say as if you guys think people were hurt right now, wait till this case
Right.
is told, and there's
Which
going to
is-
be a lot of hurt
Right.
families.
Which has led to the speculation that, you know, it's someone of an official in an official capacity. That's
Mhm.
part of what leads into the people that, you know, think that it's someone like the mayor or a police officer or someone like that was that statement.
You know what?
Yeah.
We'll have to just find the video for you because that was not too long ago, like within the last couple of years, that video.
Mhm.
And again, I understand, Steve, too, right? There's so much more information out there, and you've only been diving into Delphi for, say, 3 months. So there's
Yeah.
probably still lots of things that you haven't
no.
come across, you
Like
know?
that, I never heard that video. I've never heard that statement made.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
of course, just like everything in this case, it can be interpreted in a million different ways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I've got one. I've
Thanks,
got
Dave.
another way. I just interpret it. It's nothing like what y'all just said.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't saying that's how I felt. I was just saying that is the basis for some of what people use as an argument that it's someone of
Right.
an official capacity.
Okay.
You know? I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, no matter how much, we can only just keep the case alive.
Yeah.
And
And
aware.
rightly so. They deserve everything we can do for them.
Right.
The
Yeah.
families do. And
I have a quick
Yeah.
question. I know we need to go soon, and this won't happen. This is something that will not happen. But if the family has access to the video, like because of, you know, it being on Libby's phone or cloud, what would the legal implications be if they were to release something like that unedited?
I think it's that if it's a law enforcement tactic and we can get a bridge guy off the street, why wouldn't you do it? I mean, if this is the only way that we got to get this killer before he attacks another child or a family, then, you know, who would ever blame law enforcement? That, you know, we're at the end of our rope, guys. We can't get him off the street unless we do this.
Right.
Mhm.
Because they did say that they wanted to keep things close to their vest and they wouldn't release things about the investigation. But then the things that have come out, I think, have actually, you know, like the Anthony Shots thing, you know, that's not, you know, why that came out is interesting, you know. So it's like, you know, they didn't release that for 4 years, but then it had, you know, a huge amount of investigative leads. So Ellie's not
You know,
perfect.
that brings me back to what you said earlier, and you said that you know, Ellie initially told us that social media wasn't involved. Do we know that they were keeping that quiet for a purpose?
Yes.
To
And that,
continue
yeah.
the sting to bring these people in, or did it not click with them till later? I think that
Right.
they knew, and they
I
were
think so,
keeping it
too.
quiet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it may have been a trap that they were hoping that they was going to get a BG
Yeah.
out of. That we'll keep this quiet. We're going to go down another avenue and not let him realize we've got that under surveillance. Don't know if that was a strategy or not. Could be, and if so, okay, but we don't know. And and then, you know, what did Carter say that we've changed gears? Is that a true statement, or have they been along that path the whole time?
Shifted gears.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shifted
We shifted
gears.
gears.
And
Right.
and is that true or not? I mean, you know,
Well, I mean, don't you think that there's a big possibility that they literally are just waiting for that one piece, and that's to somehow that evidence that provides, and they don't really need our help anymore. Like, besides keeping talking about it, blah, 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 blah. And that's why they're not releasing any information, because until they get that part that says, look, we can place you there now, you
Yeah.
little shit type of idea. Because really, I mean, if they haven't released anymore after 5.5 years, and Doug Carter seems so confident, and I actually believed him in his last interview on his firmness, like, you don't think we know, we know. Did I have a sleep well? I mean, it could have been, one of those things, but I didn't really take it that way. And I know a lot of other people felt that he did have something that more to say. So I just wonder how much of his, well, we don't really need to release anymore because we're perfectly fine, but keep talking about it because we really just we know where we need to get our information from, and we need to keep working on those people, that person to, do you think that's a possibility?
Well, I never worked a case in my life that if you gave me one piece, if it was the key piece, it wouldn't have solved the case. I mean, all cases are based that one piece could solve it. If if the alibi says I've been lying for him, these his clothes are buried out back. Okay, that's all we need to know. But hopefully they do have and they have a person, and that in the next week or two it comes to pass. But if not, they're going to have to make some decisions of what they're going to do to get this guy off the streets. If they're lost and have no idea, we got to change our strategy. It hasn't worked in 5 years.
I'll just say this panel will be shocked. Apex Jones says, I don't, honestly, it'd have to be pretty big in order to shock me, and I don't feel like I'm going to be shocked.
I don't have a POI, so I mean, I won't be shocked. I mean, I'll be shocked.
I'm not going to be shocked because
there ain't nothing anyone can do that can shock me. I can tell you right now.
Well, and that statement came from Tobe, that people would be shocked. So I don't put a lot of.
Or APEP, are you just saying that as in you're repeating that statement, but not necessarily?
Probably so, but still, there's nothing that would shock me.
Well, this panel will be shocked. Yeah, I said this panel.
I've seen just about everything you can see of what man would do to their brothers and sisters and fathers and neighbors. It's absolutely unbelievable, And so, no, they wouldn't ever. There's nothing in the world that. Now, it may have been shocking to him, but it wouldn't be shocking to me because he's from that community. And if he's saying that people will be shocked, then I give it that it shocked him.
Hold on a second. Wasn't this video said prior to wasn't Carter saying that prior to the 2019 release?
Carter didn't say that. Tobe said.
Who said? Okay. Tobe said people will be shocked.
I don't put much stock in that at all.
No. So, sorry, when did Tobe say it? What year was it, Deb? 2017?
I think it was around then or the next year. It was at the very beginning.
Oh, then I don't take no stock in that then, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because not after when they bring out a new face and then all of a sudden, no, I don't buy it then. Yeah. And
that may have been law enforcement, it may be that he may have had a person of interest that if it came to pass, it would have been shocking.
Right. But then it didn't work out.
But if you go by what I've said, they never once, from Ives' standpoint, he never once had a person of interest at the beginning of the case.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we can all agree APEP is right. We will all be shocked, whoever it is.
Yeah.
Robert Ives was only in the case for the first year.
Yeah.
He retired. So.
And then he acts, which is bullshit, but I'm sorry, it is bullshit. Unless you can verify this, but I find it hard to believe that when you leave, okay, people talk. I don't give a crap if you're in freaking uniform or you're just a person on the street. People leak information all the time. I cannot see that nobody was feeding him information after the fact of when he left. It just, I can't see that. People are people. The humans are humans, regardless of a uniform or not. And and that's the reason why things are leaked, is because of these people that are in those positions.
Especially in Carroll County.
Huh? Yeah.
Especially in Carroll County, where there's a lot of old, the good old boys club going on.
Yeah, but it really is corrupt. And that's hence why Garrett Kurtz made that statement.
From a law enforcement standpoint, I would be shocked if you came up to me and told me tomorrow that I'm going to give you a video of a guy approaching 2 victims, and here's his voice, and this is the town, and this is the demographics, and you have a week to solve it. Do you think you can do it? My answer would be absolutely yes.
Same as theirs.
And
Because they thought the same thing.
yeah, and I can't blame them for that. I mean, my goodness. And but now we're 5 years later, and
Right.
I mean, the truth will be told hopefully at some point.
Yeah.
Hopefully at some point. Hopefully not 5 years again from now or 10 years or whatever.
No,
Hopefully all this what do you want to call it?
if all this comes to pass this year and all this, everybody's speculating it.
Yeah.
In the next month, that if it's not done this year, guys, they're gonna have to.
That's how I think too. If
you can't keep dangling that carrot out there, that it's,
right. With the information that's come out, go ahead.
Well, Carroll County will have a new sheriff come November, and what authority they'll have, I don't know, but they will.
I just think that if nothing's brought to surface this year, honestly, I just don't really see it happening for a long time then, or if ever, to be honest. So if they're gonna bring out all this stuff, and then it's making it seem like something is going to happen, and the way Doug Carter's speaking, it's like I said. So let me just say, internally, going by my gut intuition, I don't think that. Then no.
And what will come out of Keegan Klein's trial? How much of Delphi will be a factor of that trial?
Yeah.
Because I think people expect a lot of it, but it's like how much will, because of the legality of it being a different county, a different crime.
I mean, they have to be working on him too right now.
Well, of course. I meant, but at the actual trial,
No.
He's not charged with anything with Delphi.
People are going to be upset when he's sentenced, because he may not even serve much at any time continued. I mean, you got to look at what he's charged with. There's people that have done far more to children and have served less time than what he is facing.
Well, that's one thing that I don't know if you're familiar with CD, whose analysis of a crime, but that's one thing that he has stressed over the last few months, is that if you look at the convictions that people usually go to jail for CP, and you look at the amount of charges that Keegan Klein has, it's outrageous. Like, he has 30 counts, which in his mind, he was saying, I don't want to mischaracterize what he said, but something along the lines of that, that's to get him to talk, because, that if he's convicted on all those charges, he'll be in jail for life.
Well, but now if they run him consecutive, he'll be in jail for life. If they run it concurrent, he'll be out in just a matter of a year or 2 or 3, because he's been in jail now for going on 2 years in August, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And so, that's almost half of what some of these people will, and you get time off for good behavior if he has, I don't know. But my greatest fear is that monster will get off with some type of deal.
Did the chat just go silent, or was it me?
I just finished up.
Sorry,
Finished the conversation. Yeah.
Okay, okay. No, there was Marilyn said something, and I had to go check out just to look at it, because it said 8 has 7. 7.
What does that mean?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Typos, hopefully. She retracted, so maybe it was typos.
I know that we need to go, but does anyone want to talk about the incident at the bridge last night?
Can you do me a favor?
Sure.
I am going to go, because it's 9:42. My husband needs his haircut and he needs to get to bed. You guys can finish it up and say whatever. I don't want
to be on long, but
yeah. Let me just get off now, though, if I can, you guys. Laura.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you guys for coming to join us tonight. Thank you again, Steve, Adam, Deb. Thank you to the moderators, Peace, and whoever else is in chat here. I know Belinda was earlier. So thank you guys, and Who Dis, and
our large donation.
Copper Horse.
Oh, no, I didn't
Copper
forget.
Horse.
Yeah. And Copper Horse again, and thank you guys for always making that little joke with us about the 69. So Copper Horse, really do appreciate that $69 donation. Has been things since probably for him. I'll get him some lip gloss for next time. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Anyways, so yeah, yeah. So anyway, I can just see my husband now. I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm too much of a man.
All right.
But I'm gonna head off, guys, and you guys take care. And Steve, thanks so much again for joining us. And
All right, thank you.
you know,
And
thanks.
Steve, if you have to go, that's fine. I understand. I don't know if you know about what happened last night at the bridge or not.
Yeah. You gonna talk about it? You want me to talk about it?
No, Steve, are you aware of what happened last night?
No.
Well, Deb, I'll let you talk about it
All right.
because you know more than I.
Well, and I'm gonna look at my notes here too because Who Dis gave me a little bit more information. So yeah,
So
let's see here. Okay, so what happened? What?
Right. I was going to say what happened originally was some information came out on the police scanners from the area, and it went all over the internet. And I was just going to set it up. Now you can go. Sorry.
Okay. I'm like, wait, what am I doing? Okay, so what happened was the police scanner did go off, and it was saying that there were 2 young girls, but it was actually 2 women being held against their will near the bridge. And that it was, I believe, 2 people on ATVs. Yeah, ATVs. And what it turned out to be is that, according to Who Dis, gave me some information because she's got the scoop on everything, is that Brad Weber, who is the driveway that's by the
private
bridge,
drive.
Yeah, and someone else, I don't know who the other person was. They have surveillance and signs up everywhere saying do not trespass, and they have surveillance, and they saw 2 people trespassing on their property, and they went and held them against their will while they waited for the police to arrive because they were trespassing. Now, the people trespassing said that they were using their GPS on the trail and they got lost, but Who Dis is telling me that that's not the case, that if you look at the GPS, it'll tell you exactly how to do that, where to go, what to do, and that they were holding the people there until the police got there. Right. I had made the comment that, will they get in trouble for holding someone against your will? And she brought up the point that they were committing a crime, they were trespassing. So what's your take on that, Steve? Is that something that they could get in trouble for holding someone against their will? They shut the gate and wouldn't let them out.
Really quickly, apparently, Brad, they did call Ellie right off the bat. So it's not like they were, a hostage situation.
Well, I mean,
right.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what the trespassing laws up there in Indiana or how does it have to be posted and or used to here in the state of Georgia, it had to be posted, but they started changing some of our trespassing laws that it doesn't have to be posted anymore. That you just because you didn't see a sign doesn't mean that it gives you instant right to go on someone's property. That
it was posted.
And they had several signs.
Okay.
It was posted because Brad Weber put this up showing.
Yeah.
It's all over.
Yeah, there's a Facebook post by Brad Weber.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what type of harassment and all the other stuff that has led these people to the point that they've had to put up these signs over, and can you imagine the amount of people that's come from all over that go there just to walk across the lands and maybe
I would do it.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. But
you rebel.
If it's your yard and everybody in the world's coming there and maybe littering or waking you up, you've got to work the 3rd shift, or I'm not defending either side, but I can understand why people won't be. It's your property. You're the one who pays taxes on it. That you may want to keep people off. And if you put up all the appropriate signage and you still have people that's harassing you or whatever, then for someone to have 4-wheelers, that means that someone's relatively close that's lived there, and it's probably not their first rodeo riding on that property.
Well, and I have heard in the past that he has scared several people, gotten kind of I don't know, not violent, but like,
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
it
know what
has
the
to be
word is,
annoying.
angry
Yeah.
that they were trespassing, and people have said that he was very scary. So
Oh, I've
I'm sure
scared
he's
several
trying.
people that come on my property.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm sure he was trying to keep him off there.
It's just odd that it's two women, you know.
Yeah.
Again.
And I said, you know, my first thought was, oh my gosh, they shut the gate and wouldn't let those women out. They must have been terrified knowing what had happened there. But then who just did make a good point. She's like, they must not have been too terrified because they deliberately, you know, went on that property looking around. And that's true.
Right. And why were they out there at night? I mean, I'm not blaming, you know, but I'm like,
Yeah. What time of night was it? I mean, was it after dark or?
Yeah, it seems to have been.
it was at 9:45, maybe 9:40. So it hadn't
That
been
sounds
dark
about
long.
right.
Yeah. Well, most certainly. I mean, you know,
And it was Monday night, I believe, because
yeah.
it was during our live. I think it was when we got off the live that we heard about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, that's a little bit more different that he may not realize they were women or otherwise. And you don't know in the dark. I can tell you that sometimes as you approach suspects, you don't know who's jumped off a four-wheeler or who else is around, that you don't have total control and of your environment. You're only limited by your sight of what your flashlight is on, and you can get tunnel vision. And I can see where someone might overreact. And like I say, I'm not defending him, but you know, if you go on someone's property in the middle of the night after dark, and you pass no trespassing signs, and I really don't have a lot of pity for you.
Yeah, and I don't think there were no charges filed against the women or against Brad Weber.
Yeah.
Am I right about that, Deb?
I don't know.
Oh.
You said it like you knew, so I don't know.
Yeah, and you know,
I don't know. I haven't heard that, but I'm sure if Hoodis is still in our chat, she probably knows. She can help us out there. Yeah, I do not know about that.
Yeah, but no, I hadn't heard that. I hadn't, and that is interesting. And I can't imagine being the property owner of someone that either your property that murders occurred on your property or on your neighbor's property. That is a totally, you know, that's something that no one's prepared for.
Right, and you know, if my first was sympathy with the ladies, but now that I've thought things through, I also have sympathy for the property owner because they don't know if that's the same person who killed Libby and Abby looking to take somebody in their family out, you know?
Right. Yeah, and Laura, because of the steep hills, they must have gone directly on the private drive. Don't think you could get on the Weber property from any other way on the especially at night. So, I just didn't want to end the live tonight before we discuss that because it was quite a buzz on the online last night and yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, I've been there. That I've answered calls in the dark going up to a residence, and you go up, knock on the door, and you find that there's been even something as simple as domestic violence, which a lot of officers get hurt, injured, or even killed on them. And you be speaking to the victim, and they say, "Well, he's out in the woods behind you," and your first thought is does he have a gun? You know, and where is he, and what's going to go on? And sometimes they do have guns, and so it's, you know, in those limited visuals of working at night, you know, you most certainly have to be careful, and it does add another layer of apprehension.
Right. Yeah, because I guess he also had deer cameras out there, and so they had them on film, you know.
They had some kind of surveillance, maybe like a Ring doorbell type of thing, something like that.
Oh yeah, I do too.
See them. Yeah.
You can't get anywhere close to my property. If you come up my driveway, my Ring goes off.
We do too, and sometimes it scares the crap out of me because I have it hooked up to my phone, and it'll pop and say somebody's at your front door.
Especially
I'll
with
be
your
like-
son home this summer.
I'm like, what? And occasionally it'll be one of his friends that he's told to come over, but he didn't tell me they were coming over at 12:30 at night.
Right.
Yeah.
We're playing video games.
Well, guys, I appreciate the opportunity coming on again tonight. I'm about to go and fix me a cup
Alright.
of coffee.
Yeah, Laura said real quick, Steve, when Steve comes to Delphi, maybe Delphi native or LE will make arrangements for Steve to access that property. We
I
can hope.
most certainly would be interested in it to look at it and to settle some rumors, because there's a lot of controls that what happened that day from sound and routes and times, because if we're only looking at about a 30 or 45-minute time window, let me tell you,
Yeah.
that's
Quick.
yeah, that's interesting in and of itself. And
Shows
but,
part of the control
anyway.
game. But yeah, no, I appreciate you coming on.
Oh yeah, and I've enjoyed it as always. And y'all have a great night. And if I can help in any way, just give me a holler.
I'm sorry we
Thank
kept
you
you so
so
long,
much.
because I know between your live and then this, you've been on for 5 hours.
Yeah.
That's
Ain't
chicken
no big
feed to
deal.
us.
As long as we honor and try to do something for the family, it's worth it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, have a good night, Steve.
All right,
Thank you,
we'll see
Steve.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Well, Deb, do you have anything else that
Just
you would
us.
like to? I know. Wait,
Mhm.
you're in Sunny's position. Wait, we gotta. I mean.
Hey now, stop doing that. You'll make me lose sound.
I know.
Yeah, there is something I wanted to say. And that it is now June 23rd, and I wanted to say a happy heavenly birthday to at Sweet Angel Abby. And everyone keep her mom and family in your prayers tonight and tomorrow, because it's going to be a tough day. It'll be a day of reminiscing and loving, thinking about that precious girl, but it will also be a difficult day. So please keep their family in your prayers.
Right. Yeah. Especially, not that anyone deserves to go through what either of the families have gone through, but you could at least argue that the Patty family have other grandchildren, they have other children, they have other things to celebrate. Whereas Anna Williams, that was her only child, and it does make it different. So keep them in your thoughts and prayers today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. Mike Estery said, does anyone know when the next memorial walk is? I don't know when the next walk is. I do know that there is a motorcycle ride July 16th, which I'll post the details of on our Facebook group, which I'm not sure if you're a part of. I
have posted it before, but it's probably way down. So
yeah, and I think Becky and Mike will be participating in it, from what I know. But it's July 16th is the next memorial ride, I guess it is.
Right. Exactly.
But
I wanted to also say welcome, TTM Fangirl. We love having you, and we're glad you're going to come back again. Make sure to subscribe, and hit that alert bell so that you'll know when we go live again. Traditionally, we do Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights. And Adam and I do Mondays together.
And sometimes Sundays, or sometimes, whenever.
Yeah. But mostly Mondays.
Yeah, Monday's our night.
Yeah.
Oh, the next walk is September with Randy Gravitt, Laura said.
Okay.
And again, Laura, thank you for being so generous tonight. Thank you to Copper Horse.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Thank you to everyone that's watching. And
everyone that gave us a thumbs up, that subscribed.
Right. And again, if you do want to donate something, we are going to be putting together a gift to send to Kelsey, a monetary gift to send over to Kelsey and Caleb, her fiance.
Yeah.
Their wedding is Saturday. So keep them in your thoughts and prayers as well. And and I learned the name of the Paul Holes show that's going to be on HLN is called something of Nightmares. I have it really quick. So it is a new HLN show. And it's called The Thing of Nightmares, I think. Something like that. but it's going to be a new murder show, like on HLN, and so like the rumor is that that's what he is filming for. That he's going to do an episode on Delphi. So, and I guess Kelsey has also mentioned on social media that he's there for HLN.
Yeah.
So, and Sally, and yeah, we'll have to do a random morning again sometime. That was fun. So
coffee and crime with Adam.
Right. Insomnia. Adam's insomnia and Sloopy.
Where is Sloopy? I didn't see Sloopy on here tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you, Belinda. Thank you to all of our mods. They're amazing.
Right.
And all of our people watching. All right.
So, Deb, I'll give you the last word and then we'll take off.
I think I had the last word.
Okay. Okay. And then I said more, right?
Right.
Okay. Good night, everyone.
Thank you
so
guys.
much.
Thanks.
See you Friday.
Bye.